Well, hey, coming up next, I got to take a break. There's a story in the Post that Jackie Martling gave an interview. And I got to tell you, I got so much to say about this article.
Really? What is it?
I just want to set the record straight on all of this.
Uh-oh.
You know, I mean, this is just pathetically sad. You know, Jackie walked off the show and left. I'm not pissed. I'm not angry. We've moved on. But Jackie, of course, in his mentality, is painting himself as a victim.
Well, he is a victim of himself.
Of himself. And really, the guy should, like, calm down already and stop.
But how do you live with yourself if you realize you made the biggest blunder of your life?
Because he still hasn't learned anything from his mistakes. He's still blaming other people. Howard won't let me back on the show.
What I'm saying is, maybe you can't live with the guilt of what you've done, so you have to throw it off.
Well, yeah, but it shows me as a matter of fact, I had this TV project I was thinking of perhaps hiring Jackie for or making him an offer about to write for. Mm-hmm. I'm not in it. It's stuff I'm producing. And I realize now, after I read this article, I don't want anything to do with this guy.
But that's
Howard, you know what it looked like to me, that article?
Yeah.
In the back of the paper, I don't know if you noticed, there was like a 5 questions with Jackie the Joke Man.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and they use it to plug things. So he's plugging a pay-per-view special. So I got a feeling the Post said to him, you give us this story, and we'll give you a plug.
But he's still using me to get himself in the paper. It's like, hey, you left the show. And stop this nonsense about how I won't let you back on the show. You left. We begged. In fact, Tom walked in. He read the article. He goes, we begged this guy to stay. We begged him. And he just couldn't do it. So I said, fine, go live your life. We're fine with it. That's what you want to do. And then I made commitments to new people. There are a lot of people who are now, you know, sort of coming together and being a part of our show. And it's, you know, it's a new dawn, new day. But when I read you this article, it's clearly insane.
Well, again, you've never made a mistake like that, and sometimes people can't live with their mistakes.
I know.
So they got to make up a new story because, you know, you can't crawl out of your own skin.
But he can't keep making others responsible for his mistakes.
Well, sure you can, because some people live whole lives that way.
Well, whatever. I'll read you the article.
You know, they're never very successful because, I mean, you know, they have a self-destructive streak and they can't live with it.
I know. I feel awful for the guy if he made a mistake, but it's not my problem. And stop saying that I won't let you back on the show. How about, what am I going to do now? Fire the people that we've committed money to? And what they don't count? I'm going to be disloyal to them?
Well, that's the whole thing. Now he's ready to come back.
Yeah.
Obviously, you won't let him back.
Yeah, I won't let him back.
Oh, dear. That's like you quit a job, and then the job hires somebody else to take your place.
Yeah.
And you go, they won't let me back.
They won't let me back. I don't understand. Well, what do you mean they won't let you back? You left. Why'd you leave?
You had the job.
I think he sees the people that are sitting in his chair as people that just substitute until he comes back.
No, it's not the case. These are people who are being paid. These are people who I've made commitments to. You know. And, you know, I've certainly, I'm not going to be disloyal to them. And when a guy leaves and says to me he doesn't care, I take him at his word. I mean, who knew this was a game? I'm not involved in games. I'm working.
Hey, Howard, can I put you on the spot and ask you, do you think the shows are better without Jackie there? It's in different comics all the time?
I think they're different. I don't think that it's better or worse. I think it's different. It's a different show every day. I mean, our ratings have certainly never gone up as high as they have. I must say, the last rating period has been incredible for us. If that's an indication, I'm not even going by that. If our ratings were an all-time low, we're all enjoying doing the show. We're having a lot of fun. And I got to tell you, the last couple of months of radio for me have been absolutely fabulous. Yeah, I think the show's fine.
Jackie's putting a rope around his neck right now.
No, he did that already.
Well, you know, and I feel bad for the guy. I love the guy at a personal level. He's always like a lot of fun, and we love hanging out with him and everything. But the guy left the show. I mean, you know, I'm not going to sit here and be painted into I'm not letting him back. It has nothing to do with that. He quit. Who do you know quits a job and then says, well, okay, I'm ready to come back?
Every other time he quit, he got to walk right back.
Yeah, and I said to him, listen, I said, this time I can't go through this.
Rich is sitting, he doesn't know. There was one time Jackie left, and we thought he was gone, and we were thinking, well, what do we do now? And then one day he just showed up again.
Yeah.
Did Jackie ever try to get me on the show?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, many times. Yeah.
That's why I'm being quiet now, because he's like a friend of mine.
No, he's a friend.
He's a friend.
It's not that he's not a friend. It's not that he's not a friend. It's just I don't understand the constant articles about how he's not being let back on the show. It's not about that.
Pressuring you to put him back.
What?
Maybe he feels that will pressure you to bring him back.
Yeah, but that makes me feel like, this is ridiculous. I don't want anything to do with this. Anyway, I'll take a break. I'll read the article.
I have to hear this article.
All right, see you guys.
Do you want to say something, John, before I go to break?
I was just going to say, this is almost like, this is a cry for help, I think.
You go to a shrink. I think
he's trying to talk to you through the post.
I know. And it's just not working. It's just a turnoff.
Didn't Jay Leno's manager or something put an article in the Post that he was taking over the Tonight Show before he actually was supposed to take over the Tonight Show?
Yeah.
And it became like a pressure thing?
Right.
Because now they had to do it because it was already out there?
Yeah, maybe
that's what's happening.
He read the late
shift. That's what's going on.
He read the late shift.
All right, I'll read the article when we get back. That's true. Richard Jeni joining us this Wednesday and Thursday at Rascals Comedy Club. Go see him. He is funny. RichardJenny.com. For sure. All right, I'll read you this article. Forgive me. This is like the top thing on page 6. Forgive me, Joke Man pleads. Jackie the Joke Man Martling is begging Howard Stern to take him back. Again, he had the job.
Well, he is right. Take him back, because he left.
I would love to be back on the show. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But why didn't he know that?
But, you don't leave. That way you stay on the show.
I was just saying to Robin during the commercials, I can't tell you how many times throughout Jackie's 15 years here, he would go through this thing where he leaves, and I would turn around and bail him out. I would say to Robin, I'm going to dip into my own pocket because this guy is committing suicide in his life. He doesn't even know I'm saving him. He doesn't even know how good he has it. And she'd say, well, why are you doing that? I said, come on, he's good for the show. We're going to do it, this, that, and the other thing. And finally, this time I said, I'm sick of being mistreated this way. I mean, how many times do I have to sit and get put through the ringer? He leaves, it disrupts our show. I'm going to go out and hire some new people.
Going, and then he comes back when he feels like it.
And why do I have to? Not only am I bailing him out, he doesn't even appreciate it. He's angry with me. I've done him the injustice. He's not being paid his fair amount.
He comes back begrudgingly.
Yeah, he comes back with a chip on his shoulder. I said, I can't take it anymore. I don't hate the guy. I like the guy. I want to work with him. But what am I going to do with him? How many times can I tell him I'm saving you and have a guy be pissed off at me?
Am I in the Jackie chair now?
Yes, you are.
Because that's what somebody said to me the other night. So you're going to be in the Jackie chair?
Yeah, I know. People now come up to me and go, when are you going to let him back? And I go, wait a second. The logic here is all backward.
Like
we wanted him.
Pushed him out the door.
I begged this guy every day to stay. As we were in a private jet to Vegas, partying, I said, you're going to leave all this? I said, well, he goes, well, I got to do it. I'm going to go punch up scripts. I said, finally, he said, go punch up scripts. What do you want from me? In fact, he didn't even say anything. He just left. He quit.
You know what the funny thing about the show is people always say, what do you guys do? We really do talk about, we discuss our lives on the air. And I remember last year when you were trying to decide whether to sign your contract, you laid the groundwork early in the year and you said, I know Jackie's not coming back. Yeah. I know he's going to leave. Because you knew it was coming. It was almost like your way of warning him.
For a year, he warned him.
You say,
nobody's going to go through that again, Jackie.
But he didn't believe me because I always bailed him out.
That's right.
In the past, I always bailed him out. And what used to tick me off, I would bail the guy out, then he'd come back and he'd be pissed off at me.
Never thanked you.
Never. Like, hey, man,
It was like, that was what you were supposed to do.
Yeah. And by the way, the guy was making a fortune. He makes 80 times more than what any Tonight Show head writer makes. 80. Times 80. Okay? It was just a phenomenal gross. If I told Richard Jeni the amount, now he'd jump out a window.
He'd faint.
Right.
We don't want to hurt you, so we're going to keep it quiet.
Martling, who angrily walked out in February in a bid for more money, had rankled the king of all media by repeatedly threatening to quit unless his high six-figure salary was increased.
He rankled you.
He didn't rankle me. I said to him, Jack, I'd love for you to... Again, it's just this. I got it.
The reason to him off the air, or was
yes, I said to him whenever he would discuss it. He said he didn't want to discuss it with me.
Oh, really?
But I'd say to him, listen, love to have you stay. Think you're the greatest. If you leave though, I'm going to make other plans this time.
So you said that to him off the air?
Yes. I said it to him.
And but
in his mind, it was like, you can't make it.
But it doesn't matter. You just don't keep throwing away a thing that's really good for you and expect it to come back.
This wasn't about money. This was about him teaching me some sort of bizarre lesson. That he has a chip on his shoulder, that he's the show, and that he should be the guy.
Well, you don't think he's trying to teach Tom a lesson more?
No. Tom's thrilled if Jackie.
Tom will never learn a lesson.
Yeah, Tom doesn't. What does Tom care?
It's not possible to teach him a lesson.
Tom's thrilled, Jackie.
See, that's the mistake, though. I think Jackie thought that, it's like
Jackie was no.
Because at the end of the day, he thinks that Howard could be the guy to swoop in.
Right.
Because Howard has done that before.
Right. Anyway.
And also, I've heard that they're saying that he rankled you. I've heard that he rankled people in the company more than you.
Yeah, but everyone said to him, even Tom.
He rankled them years ago. Howard kept saving him from them.
Yeah. Well, even Mel used to come to me and say, I really don't want the guy here. I'm tired of his bull.
That was years ago. That wasn't just this last year.
My mother used to call me and say, how long are you going to put up with this guy? She used to say it to me.
I used to scream at you.
Yeah, Robin was irate about Jack. But I said, listen, he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm going to save him from himself. I said this. Because he doesn't realize how wonderful he has it here. But then he'd come back and piss on me. And I'd say, my God, he doesn't really appreciate it.
Even after you go dipping into your own pocket.
And no offense.
Going to other people who want him gone and saying, no, bring him back.
And no offense, I can do this show without him. I mean, it's not that difficult.
He doesn't realize you were doing a show.
I know. He had no idea.
He came and joined a show.
He joined the show.
There was a show.
I was already a huge star before Jackie joined the show, and I'll be a huge star after it. Well, hi, Tom.
Tom was not thrilled, and Tom wasn't excited having.
No, but you know what I'm saying. In other words, the only person that really gets affected is me. And in fact, you came to me and said, I begged the guy to stay. Right. And I know you did. You like the guy. We all like him. All right. So Martling, who angrily walked out in February in a bid for more money, had rankled the king of all media. And by the way, I wasn't rankled at all. I said
I take umbrage at your being rankled. You put up with more crap from him.
Yeah, because now it's turning into Jackie. I'm keeping Jackie from his job.
You got pissed and kicked him out.
Right. It wasn't like that at all. He didn't rankle me. He got up one day and said, I'm leaving. And I said, why are you doing this? You're walking away from your job. He goes, I'm leaving.
Let's put it this way. It was when did you get that email?
Oh, well, I'll get to that in a minute. But that's months later.
No. I'm talking about the email to tell you he was quitting.
Oh, he got it because he read in the paper that I was mad that the guy didn't even tell me he was leaving.
No. He called you for that. You got an email to say, I won't be in. On what day?
Over the weekend.
Over the weekend. He left.
Yeah, over the weekend.
Right. He's not going to be there on Monday. He doesn't tell you 2 weeks earlier.
No. He didn't give me any notice.
He tells you the day before he's not showing up.
Yeah. So I said, well, first of all, the guy, after 15 years, just leaves, walks out the door. I said, but you know what? I swear to you, and I'm not lying, I was never rankled, as it says here in the paper. I said, wait a second. He has obviously a different career path to go. I'm fine with it. It's not that big a deal if he leaves.
You were more at the point now, at this point, hey, let me know what you're doing so I can make plans.
Yeah, and I said, there's a couple of guys I want to work with. If you're really going, I said, I'll wait a couple of weeks if that's what you need. He goes, no, I'm gone.
He was very strange because he sat there for, some time resenting Benji because he thought Benji was vying for his job.
Yeah, it was just really weird. And I just said, listen, I really would love to have you back. I said this to him on the phone. I think you're walking away from the best career you could have ever possibly had. This is when he called me. And I said, but no hard feelings. I said, if you want to leave it, that's what I want to do. I'm out of here.
Oh, goodbye.
That's what he said to me. And I said, are you sure? I begged the guy.
Wait. This is before he left? Or?
This is when he called me because he read in the paper that he never called me.
Okay.
So he says, listen, I'm not even calling you asking for my job back. He goes, I don't want it back. He said to me.
I didn't even know.
Oh, yeah. He says, I'm calling just because on a friendly level, they said in the paper that you didn't get a phone call from me. I said, well, it did disturb me that you just didn't show up. I said, but the fact of the matter is, I'm saying to you now, I'm going ahead and making new plans. If you want your job back, if you want to go ahead and pull the plug, go ahead. But I think you're making a big mistake, and here's why. And I said it to him. I said, I'm saying this to you. I did. I said it to him as a friend. I said, Jack, you're ruining your life. This show is going to go on. It's going to prosper. It's going to be big. I guarantee it. And I think that you should be a part of it. I said, it's a lot of fun. It gives you a life. You got a life outside of your home.
It's not a lot of hours.
It's not. I mean, I said, I think it's a good deal. I said, but I can't convince you of that. If you don't think you have a good deal here working with me, then go ahead and leave and have a great life. And he said, that's what I want to do. I said, okay, I'm going to make other plans.
You know what's weird, Howard? I had lunch with Jackie 2 days before he left the show, before he walked off. And I said, listen, because he was telling me that he was thinking about doing it. I go,
oh, he told you. I
said, Jackie, if you're going to leave the show, call Howard before you do that and talk to him about it. But, you know, because...
Well, no, he was going... He had to walk... He likes to walk off anyway, so he has a nice break for the summer.
Right. He takes an extra vacation. I was like,
what the hell? Like, why would he email? I mean, he should have called.
Because it's a big game to teach me a lesson.
Yeah, I think the walking off thing is more like, I'm going to show him I'm serious.
And when I walk off, Howard's not even going to know what to talk about. And it's like, you know what? I've always had things to talk about. Well, that's what always used to piss
me off. He walked off like he's going to cripple us.
Yeah.
Right. See, I think Jackie believed that walking off would once again raise the ante for him and give him the ability to come back at a higher price.
Also, when the ratings went up, it really screwed his head up.
Right, but that Wednesday that John had lunch with him was the day that I met with him and said, Jackie, this is it. It's gone as far as it's going to go. I'm offering you long-term security, et cetera, a lot of money.
Believe me, I wish you could announce the money. I know you would never do that, but I wish you could so people could fall off their chairs.
Could you tell us?
No. I said, I don't want to know. I think
you don't want to know.
I think it could hurt.
All right. So anyway, let me finish the article because we'll never get through it. You should hear this. Okay. Martling, who angrily walked out in February in a bid for more money, had rankled the king of all media by repeatedly threatening to quit unless his high six-figure salary was increased. Since then, the joke man has been relaxing in his collection of houses on the beach in Bayville. That's where Dominic started laughing. He goes, first of all, Dominic goes, he's got 5 houses, not one of them's on the beach.
No,
again, here's a guy. Oh, yeah, right. One's on the beach.
Hey, Howard, now high six-figure salary would imply it's over $500,000.
I don't want to say what it was, but trust me.
John's fishing.
You're low. All right? Okay.
You know how obsessed John is? John came to me this morning and told me that he had a dream that I was making $540,000 a year because it had something to do with something he read about Jackie.
Yeah,
he's dreaming about it now.
Anyway. Quote, I wish I could go back to Howard, Martling's side, but I don't think so because I haven't heard from them. No, he has called me now multiple times. I've returned the calls. I've spoken with him and said, I've committed to other people. What do I do? I've moved on. This is what you wanted. This is what you said to me. It's not a question of me not taking you back. I'm not going to burn these other people.
Could I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Would Jackie ever be able to, like sit in the Jackie chair for 2 days?
You want to know something? After this article, I think we're best
I'm not giving that guy my chair.
Right. I think we're all best going our separate ways.
Maybe we'll sell him the Jackie chair.
There's no way he's sitting.
How much will you pay us to
Says Martling was reluctant to discuss the split. I don't want to go into the whole thing. And then he goes into the whole thing. I asked for more money, and they didn't want to give it to me.
Oh.
That's not true.
They didn't give him any more money.
No, he asked for more than we were willing to give him.
I mean,
but there was a raise involved.
Oh, absolutely.
So, wait, he's got it right. So they offered me a nice raise, and I asked for more, and when I didn't get it, I walked off.
Yes, that's what you did. You walked away.
So he recognizes that. He recognizes that.
You know what's really pissing him off now? He's thinking, if I was never going to get back on the show anyway, I could have punched Stuttering John.
But Martling soon regretted his decision. A couple of months later, I contacted Howard, and I said I'd like to take the original offer, but he wouldn't take me back, Martling moaned. Wouldn't take him back. He won't take me back.
You know, an offer doesn't stay on the table forever for anyone.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean take you back? You left the show.
You know what it is, Howard? I think Jackie feels... I don't know this. I mean, this is how I look at it. I think that he thinks that you're in control of the...
He is in control.
I'm in control whether he can come back.
No. Of the salary.
I wasn't. I said that to him a million times. In fact, when all these...
Jackie felt he was in control of the salaries because Jackie got him to give him money.
That's what I'm saying. So... You know.
A couple of months later,
he's in control.
In fact, we should have parted ways 5 years, 10 years ago.
That's right.
Yeah, but I kept trying desperately because I knew that the guy was screwing himself. I felt bad for him. I really did. I felt like, oh, my God, he has no idea what he's giving up. He's completely insane.
But he was an asset, though, at the same time.
Of course.
See, I look at this whole thing, and I think, like, Jackie was almost like an alcoholic. Like, he just didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Martling, no, he absolutely doesn't know what he's doing. You know what? He doesn't have a Yiddish cup.
It's almost like
Martling doesn't know what he's doing.
He still doesn't know what he's doing because this article is blaming Howard for his problem. Howard won't take me. There was nothing to contest. The job was his.
Money they offered me, and now they won't give Give it to me.
Yeah, the job was his.
Yes.
I think he waited too long with that, too.
You can't lose something that's yours unless you throw it away.
Just so I don't know, you know this, but the day he didn't accept, he was told, if you don't accept the offer, it's off the table.
I know.
If you want to come back.
But, Howard could put it back on the table.
Right.
He knows that. Daddy could put it back on the table.
Martling, who worked with Stern for 15 years, said it's too painful for him to listen to the show anymore because he misses it so much. I have little contact with Howard. I mean, we are friends, but I miss laughing and carrying on like a third grader for 5 hours a day.
Right.
I'll put the show on.
And getting great money for it.
And having a party. I'm sorry if I come across as weird, but I'm in a weird spot. I have been lying very, very low, just living on the beach, swimming and riding my bike. What happened to all the scripts that were going to punch? He had a whole career plan.
No. He's swimming.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about sharks. Let them eat me.
No, see,
That's funny.
Yeah, no, but I think the shark thing is like he almost wants to die.
Well, yeah, he's saying, who cares? Let him eat me. It's so gorgeous here. We have fires and barbecues on the beach. I've worked day and night for 20 years, and it's nice to take some time off.
Well,
there you go.
He's enjoying himself.
I went to one of those beach parties.
You went to that beach party?
Did he ever tell you that story about the turds? On the
yeah, we went through that whole thing 20 times. Although Martling doesn't have a steady job, he's gearing up for an uncensored pay-per-view, and he's booked some live appearances in casinos and colleges.
Well, good.
There you go.
He's working, God
That's better, isn't it? Getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning?
As for Stern still using him as a punching bag, Martling said, Howard ragged on me for 15 years when I was sitting there. I consider him my friend. I would be more upset if they didn't rag on me. So.
That's nice.
But as much as Martling may want his old job back, insiders say a hurt Stern has ruled the joke man will never work for him again.
Who are these insiders?
Confess. I'm not hurt.
I got to go with AJ on that one.
Yeah, I'm really not hurt. I don't know how to say.
I'm talking to the Post.
I'm hurt when I'm in love with somebody and they,
They don't realize
they reject you.
Yeah, exactly. Howard was hurt by Jackie leaving the Insider, told Page 6 in June. He thought they were like family. He thought Jackie was making plenty of money for what he was doing. I don't, you know what? I never knew what he was making.
Please. You don't decide what people make.
Howard has said on and off the air that Jackie won't be back. And he won't be back because we've committed to other people and moved on. And that's, and that's the bottom line. And as far as this victim thing where Howard won't let him back, Howard offered him 20 million opportunities to be back. He wouldn't come back.
There's no reason to leave.
I think, but the whole thing is, I think if you're going to leave, then you got to,
you want to know something?
Ready to deal with it if you leave.
Right, thank you. You know what? Here's the deal. When you're about 20 years old and something falls into your lap, that's unbelievably great. Sometimes you
expected to blow it.
Sometimes you blow it because you don't know. You think the whole world's going to be like that. It's like almost like, you get a job like this at 20 and you go, oh, my God. If I got this at 20, imagine what I could get at 25 if I leave.
Or it's the guy who at 20 gets the TV show and decides he's going to leave it for movies.
Yeah, Suzanne Summers was 20 years old. Didn't realize how difficult it is to have a big career.
Right. David Caruso.
Right, David Caruso, or any of these guys. But Jackie already was 53 years old.
And he'd had some crummy
times. He had a bunch of crummy years, even through his late 30s. At some point, you have a great thing. And appreciate it and treat it like the diamond that it is.
And guess what that point is for Jackie?
After he loses it.
Now, yes.
After he walks. He didn't lose it.
Now he realizes it was a great thing.
He gave it up. He gave it up. He walked away from it.
The whole time he was doing it, he didn't realize it was a great thing.
Yeah. I'll give you an analogy. In 4 years, my contract's up. At that point, Tom hopefully will come to me and say, well, do you want to continue? Do you want to quit? Do you want to whatever? And if I say to him, listen, Tom, I'm leaving. I got to go. I've had enough of radio. Well, can we offer you more money? Nah, it's really, I need to go swim on the beach and punch up scripts in Hollywood. All right? And then Tom would say to me, is that your final decision? And by the way, the difference between me and Jackie, I wouldn't be belligerent about it. I'd be like, hey, we had a great run, but I want to go.
Well, you're not finished with the analogy.
Yeah, but let me just say something. And then, about a year later, I wake up and I call Tom and I go, Tom, I want my old job back and give me my money.
But Tom has a contract with some other guy.
But Tom's already Tom had to go on and run a radio station and make a living.
He still had a morning slot to fill.
Yeah, and he filled it. Imagine my gall calling up and going,
that bastard, he won't take me back.
He won't take me back. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't put your brain in somebody's head. You can't leave.
Jackie never really had a job. He didn't know what to do with one. He didn't understand that, the job eventually goes away.
If you're
throwing it back at
the comedian, he doesn't know about jobs.
Right, exactly.
He never learned that concept of giving somebody else the job.
I had lunch with, one of the guys that
also got to be able to assess your own talents. You got to also say, hey, this is the perfect thing for me. No, they can't do that.
I had lunch with one of the comedians, like that sits in Jackie's chair now.
Yeah.
He was telling me how this is so great, how this is like so much better than having to do comedy. Like, I mean, I didn't realize it, but people really, all these comedians envy this job. This is something that they would. Well,
let me tell you something. When Craig Gass came to me, he says, I couldn't get a gig anywhere.
Couldn't get people on the phone.
He says, since I've done your show, I'm turning down gigs. I'm booking out everything. He goes, I'm not sure. He goes, now I got these agents. They want to sign me to do a thing on MTV, a cartoon, or this or that. I mean, listen. I'm not saying that it's the greatest job in the world, but when you got a gem, you don't walk off. And if you walk off even, I even spoke a couple of times after he walked off. I said, come on back, come on, do your thing. I said, before I go make other plans. No, this is it. I don't want to be there. And I said, okay. I said, if that's what you're telling me, I got to go make other plans. You understand? Go ahead, do what you want.
Do what you want. Come on.
So it's a silly article to read every 3 months in the paper that Howard won't take me back. That's like me trying to get my job back after I leave.
Well, I always say it's sort of like, this is like, equivalent to a rock band. And when somebody, leaves the Rolling Stones keep going.
They have 8 guitar players.
Yeah, they just keep going. The guitar players, you don't know who they were.
Tony, you're on the air.
Good morning, Howard. This is just way out of hand. Jackie, really, God forbid your show stuttered half of a bit. Jackie would have squeezed you.
That would have been impossible.
Manipulated you, and he would have squeezed the whole show.
Well, I said even if the ratings went in the toilet, I wouldn't care.
Howard, you guys got your game down. You're doing very well.
Thank you.
I would love to have Jackie back. I was a long fan for a long time.
Right.
But I think he really played pussy on this one, and he's looking to squeeze you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
It is very sad, though. I mean,
it is. We do feel bad about it.
What is the first thing I said to you when you called me and told me this? I said, I am sad for Jackie. I didn't get angry. I was like, I'm sad for Jackie.
That's how I felt. I said, I'm really sad for the guy. He doesn't know what he's walking away from. And I even said it to him. I swear to you, I had this conversation. I said, I feel so bad for you. He goes, don't feel bad for me. I go, I feel bad. You don't know what you're walking away from. I said, but, listen, I got to move on. I said, if you want to come back now, but I got to move. And maybe I can talk to Tom, and I'm sure Tom at that point would have said, okay, what the hell. I didn't know what else to say. I said, I think you're making a big mistake, but I got to move on. I'm sorry. And he goes, don't be sorry. This is what I want to do.
I mean, I love Jackie, but I think he waited too long to change his mind.
Yeah.
Like if he would have waited, like you said.
You can only wait a week with me. Joe, you're on the air.
Yeah. Howard.
Yeah.
What's up there, babe?
Hey, bro.
All right, listen. This show has never been better because that douchebag left. Okay?
Yeah.
The show is 10 times better without that guy than it ever was. Joe Barger said so, so tell him that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Ted. Ted, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard. How you doing? Good morning. Hey, not for nothing. You used to rag on him, though, because I heard Friday's show, and you was ragging on Olio all day. It's more like a Batman and Robin complex that you guys got.
Yeah, well, listen, we rag on everyone on the show.
What does that mean, a Batman and Robin complex?
Well, he's Batman, Howard Stern's Batman, and Jackie's Robin. You know how Robin always wanted to separate from Batman all the time, but he always got back with Batman. Also, his cable show really sucked, though, I gotta admit. Yeah, like, you can see his old age spots and everything. He's, like, really getting old.
Well, listen, I'm not here to bust on the guy. Don't know anything about that, but, look, I mean, I just had to respond to the article because it's really getting dull and boring to keep reading that, and it's just so ridiculous.
Howard, I got another question.
Yep.
All right. You say he's an alcoholic. Do you think that alcohol has something to play with it?
No, listen.
Stop drinking it.
He said John's the alcoholic.
John is now our alcoholic.
Yeah, we still have a show alcoholic. We
no,
lose that.
Replacement alcoholic.
Jackie did drink a lot, but he wasn't an alcoholic. I wouldn't call him an alcoholic.
When I said that,
I don't know. That was his image.
I think he's responding before I said it's almost like Jackie's an alcoholic. What I meant, it's almost like he had an illness where doesn't have the ability to recognize what he's doing.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's literally one. Yeah. So anyway, that's my response to the article. And by the way, I just want to correct the image that I am somehow not letting someone back, or I'm irritated with him. I'm not. I didn't understand it. I was shocked, but I'm not irritated at all with the guy. I like the guy. He's a great guy. He's a fun guy. In fact, you go find him on the beach and hang out with him. He's a great guy.
I mean, I think everybody feels the same way.
Yeah. John is quickly becoming the most fun guy.
So much
He's even more fun. He was fun. He was fun, Robert. He used to hump you like nobody's business.
Exactly.
Right. Just like Gary Busey did.
Exactly. Oh, my God. Well, that's why I wasn't ready for Gary Busey.
Robert,
I wasn't Jackie.
So, hold on. You're on a desert island, right?
Yeah.
Gary Busey or Jackie? Who do you take?
Gary Busey.
So, Howard, on a side note,
sure.
In 4 years, are you going to come back? Or?
Oh, my God.
You know what? It's probably too soon to make that decision. But I'll tell you,
I think
getting out of bed, I think I'm probably done. I think this is my final.
I think that you can say anything you want 4 years from that day.
Right. When you're faced with the decision, and let me tell you something. Unlike Jackie, I am someone who dreamt about being in radio since I'm 5 years old. And radio has been a terrific run for me, and I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. And it's great. But the landscape has changed. Things have changed about radio that I don't necessarily, feel all that excited about anymore. I don't like getting up early in the morning. I mean, who does? And maybe this will be it. I mean it for real. I mean, I'm really doing some soul searching.
You know why I think that you're not coming back? And I'm not talking about anything that happened in your life, but your personal life now is different, and I think that
is that a 10?
Well, no.
What number am I?
You're 11.
Right.
11. But you're like living life now, and you realize that getting up at the crack of, like the things that you want to do in your life, and you don't want to get up at the crack of dawn.
Your personal life's a 10 now.
I'm talking here, Miss Cuervo.
No, I have a different philosophy, though. He's single now. Keep the show, because look at the little poon you could be getting now.
No, because
all of a sudden you were married.
I disagree.
Everybody's screaming.
Well, let me tell you.
You know what? You're not going to know until it gets close. Last year you.
I will sit down with Tom, because Tom really understands this thing.
Exactly.
What?
You don't have the torture of sitting down with Tom.
I would sit down with Tom because I've worked with Tom now for over 15 years. So I would have a conversation with Tom.
I got a question for you. And
I'd say, Tom, I never want to see you again.
I'll stay if you leave.
If you see me on the street, don't acknowledge it.
Howard, I got a question for you, and if it's too personal, just tell me so. Okay. In 5 years, not now, but 5 years from now, listen, you could always use more money, but will the financial aspect of it be an issue, or will it really be a pure issue?
Of course it will be.
No.
Of course it's an issue.
It is not.
Absolutely is.
It's not.
You have no idea.
You silly person.
You're wrong.
You just want it all. You
want it all.
You're like Tom Cruise. You want the whole $300 million.
Be honest. You got enough money.
I don't. I really don't.
He does.
Get the hell
out of here.
You have to work.
Trust me.
I had a financial loss recently. Setback that was staggering.
Even that setback wasn't that bad.
Staggering.
No.
Come on. You know, Tom Cruise is struggling, too, giving away half of $300 million.
Yeah. A staggering setback.
I didn't have no $300 million, honey.
Howard, a staggering setback was the crash of 29.
But you don't even live like such a expensive lifestyle. I mean, it's not like you're like throwing money away.
Yeah, you're not crazy.
How much does it take for you to live anyway?
Well,
as a matter of fact, I don't spend a lot of money.
That's
You're right. But I'll tell you, I fixed my house up, unlike Dominic.
You rent or you own?
Oh, my God. What do you want? His
Rob, you're on the air.
Good Lord.
What is it, Rob?
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Hey.
Hey, you know what? I saw Tara Reid on TRL the other day. I think it was on Thursday.
Really?
Yeah. She was on with Carson Daly, and I just wanted to comment because I think KC said that she had no ass. She does not have an ass.
No, she doesn't.
Well, hold on a second.
I think
she's a toothpick.
All right.
Oh, my goodness.
You want my comment? You want my comment?
Yeah.
I'll give you my comment.
I would have loved to see her with Carson Daly again.
Yeah. First of all, did you see American Pie 2, Tom?
Yes, I did.
Is it funny?
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, I'm anxious to see it.
Is it fun?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun and funny.
Tara Reid, I did spend time with one night in California, not romantically. She was around a group of people. Is one of the most annoying women. And she came in here, and I didn't find her attractive the night I was with her. I had also seen her in some interviews. I didn't think she was that attractive. When she came in here last week on Thursday, I thought that she looked good. Really good.
There was a raging debate about who the hottest girl was. Because there were 3 girls from American Pie here.
I don't know that her personality rubs me the right way, particularly her defense of Lizzie Grubman. But
her torso was oddly shaped.
But I got to tell you something. I thought her body was smoking.
Yes, you like sticks.
I like a skinny girl.
She's half the girl.
She's a quesadilla.
She's half the girl of American Pie 1.
Skinny. I need a quesadilla to bang her.
Really? You gotta be kidding me. She's hot.
You're a nut.
Oh
my God.
Her body is right, guy. It was really thin.
It was oddly skinny, and I'd bang her in a second.
Right.
That's the truth.
Blonde, skinny with big boobs.
How did you? How bad is that? Did she look good in the movie?
Yeah, she looks fine.
Yeah.
Howard, you bought her a Mercedes, didn't you?
Yeah, right.
If you could put Tara Reid's head on that other chick that was here,
Allison Hannigan?
Allison, put Tara Reid's head on Allison.
I think that was
there
cute.
was a lot of argument as to whether Allison was hotter than
No,
Tara.
Tara Reid's hotter than Allison.
Yeah, her face, but Allison has a better body.
But, Allison was cute.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
See, this is what I heard all afternoon after that show.
Well, I'm not going to debate this. I'm going to settle this once and for all. Tara Reid looks great.
We went to John's screening, and all the guys were saying, Allison was the hottest.
No, and as much as I like Allison better as a person, Allison Hannigan, but Tara Reid is hotter. And that's it. And no more debate on it.
But Allison's hot. She's not as hot as Tara, but she's cute.
I said no more debate. I told you the order.
I'm not debating it.
You have the final determination.
Well, who's going to be the final?
I think
My
there
show.
should be a vote.
I guess we're all in agreement that the third chick was the ugliest.
Oh, that's horrible. Then none of them were ugly.
No, I like that third chick.
That's cute.
Dominic Barber, you're on the air.
All right, now, I spoke to Jackie for an hour on Friday.
Oh,
How did that happen?
Now, by the way, please don't lie.
How did that happen?
He called me. I was in my car driving up to Connecticut. Now,
He has your cell phone number.
yes, he has his cell.
I don't.
I don't either.
That's the absolute truth. I would not lie.
Okay.
And I want to express a different opinion, even though it's just my opinion. I think...
You know what, Dominic?
Tara Reid was hot.
I hear his cell phone breaking
Can I
up.
say something?
Yes.
Your opinion matters so little to me
Good.
that I'm not even going to bother with it, number one. Number two, you're a completely warped human being. I've heard your point of view on this 20 times. Dominic calls me, you should let Jackie back on the show. He's a good guy. He's your friend. It's not a question of that. I've committed to other people. What part of that sentence don't you understand?
Listen.
Have you ever had a lawyer leave your firm?
No, of course, all the time. And
you don't have a slot.
yeah, it's not that we don't feel bad for him. We love the guy. He's a great guy. We feel bad. We sat down with the guy. We begged him, don't leave, stay. It's the best job you'll ever have. At what point do you say to someone, at what point do you want to sit with someone who doesn't appreciate what you're doing for them?
I understand.
So your point of view matters little. And the phone call to you matters little.
What I suggest is that we all have to sometimes forgive people.
But again, you're not understanding. It's not about forgiveness.
He made a major mistake of his life.
Yes.
Dominic, as a producer of the show, I can tell you that I've taken funds that were earmarked for Jackie and committed them in other areas. How should I now handle that?
Where's his salary supposed to come from this?
Why don't you pay Jackie and he can come back?
Yeah, what if Dominic puts up the money?
Put up all the money that he makes. And when I tell you what he makes, you'll fall over.
And I'm not talking about guys who sit in the Jackie chair or today the Rich Jenny chair. I'm talking about guys, for other things that we have contracts for.
Dominic says he knows the numbers, by the way.
Dominic does know the numbers.
He does.
I told him. And Dominic,
I won't say that.
is it mind-blowing?
Mind-blowing.
Okay. There.
Oh, this is not fair.
No,
He told me the numbers. I was like, oh, my God, he's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, was anybody not generous?
No.
What are we missing out on here?
Jackie
And we took that money, Dominic, we took that money, and when he called me, I said, are you sure this is what you want? I think you're walking away from the best opportunity of a lifetime. Forget about the money, the excitement, the glamour. I mean, movie premieres and going to Vegas and carrying on. I said, I don't know what it is you think you're doing, but I'm going to commit to some other people. And he said, I have no problem with that. And I said, okay. And I did it. It's not a question of forgiveness. You got to be honest. If I left this show tomorrow and I came back to Tom 6 months later and he hired a whole new morning staff,
what's he supposed to do?
what's he supposed to do? You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
I think Dominic's telling you to, like...
I've spent a long time talking about this, and I'm done. Because people always ask me about it. I read the article, and now I've commented on it. It's enough.
still feel so sorry for
Yes, of course. Everybody feels bad for him.
I mean,
he made a real blunder.
That's going to change his whole life.
That's not my responsibility, though. That was his responsibility to think things through. Don't pin it. Don't paint me as the victimizer.
And
you know what?
Yeah, well, that's what that article does. It's like, oh, Howard won't save me again, yet again.
But you know what else is weird, Howard? Jackie's life is not over. It's just over here.
Yeah.
You know,
go on.
He'll go and find something else, and he'll fall into a niche, and he'll be okay if he pulls it together. But
absolutely.
It's not like his life is ended.
Yeah. Well, that's what he's painting it as. Like, you got to let me back. This is my God-given slot.
It'll never be the same, though.
Right. Well, it was a mistake, and we all feel bad. And and by the way, Dominic,
could be better. You never know.
He could go. I disagree with that.
I can't tell you how many times I sat down and this same scenario played out. And I, despite my better judgment, bailed him out. And he came back and was not grateful.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's what everybody keeps forgetting.
So
he made a mistake. No, he did this over and over and over.
So we've had 50 trial runs like this, and still no learning.
It was always going to be this way.
Yeah. So at some point you can't work with a knife in your back. You understand? At some point you can't. If you had a room full of lawyers who worked in your firm, who carried on like this, you wouldn't be able to get a day's work done.
Yeah, I guess I really do understand, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I know. You feel bad for anybody who blows a good thing.
We all feel bad for him.
That's right.
I mean, he really blew it. He realized, I don't agree with any of you that his life will ever be the same. It won't be.
That's right. Thank you, Dominic.
Fix your house.
Go fix your house.
Go fix your house.
Yeah, fix your house, I beg you.
Turn the pool heater on.
All right.
Maybe he'll do well.
Can I just talk about...
You don't know.
You don't know. He could do very well, or he could be standing there going, I'm Jackie Martling for Lamps Galore. We're smashing prices.
I think he'd love that.
Hey, can I just say one thing about that was weird from TRL with Tara Reid?
Yeah.
She was on with Carson Daly. They brought up the entire cast, like 9 of them.
Yeah.
They put her so far in the back. Wouldn't you put Tara Reid up front? She's a hot babe. They stuck her so far in the back, and it was like Carson never met her before.
It was like he wasn't on the show with her.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Right.
Howard, I want more money.
Already.
I've been here 2 days.
You're fired. You're out.
Fair enough.
Richard will never be the same.
We've learned.
One person who
now your life is ruined.
anything in this whole thing is Fred.
Yeah, Fred doesn't talk about this.
He made his bed, let him lay in it.
Oh.
There you go.
That's it.
Well, he's right.
It's over for
Well, what else is there to say?
How many times? How many times are you going to hold the show up?
Robert and I had a discussion.
Fred and I have spoken about it off the air.
Have you?
Yeah.
I'm with Howard on that. I felt bad.
Yeah, we all felt bad.
But you want to know something? There were so many times that Howard, kind of like, as Gary said, set the stage for him, let him know what was going on, let him know what the financial arrangements were, et cetera, and he blew it.
There's always a part of a guy who's used to being a front guy that never really accepts being a sidekick.
Right.
That's where he should be somewhere else.
Then he should go be a front
That's what
guy.
I said to you. I said, you got to realize this is the Howard Stern show. If that doesn't sit well with you, you got to go somewhere
Very
else.
few people can make that transition, and there's always like a little part of you that...
Projecting a little, Richard?
I'm just a guest here, Howard.
We speak the same language.
Richard had his own TV show.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking from experience.
Are you kidding? He had all that. He gave that up.
He was the white guy in the black channel.
Right.
Join me on the beach.
Yeah, Richard, you were on UPN.
UPN, yeah.
You're the one white guy.
Yeah. Well, they did. That was the first year that they had sitcoms. Was that first year, and I think it wasn't a bad show. It was overexposed. I don't think it should have been on every week.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah,
that show's good
talk to
about
my
once
dad.
a month.
Did you have any black people on your show?
No.
That's why I felt.
Is it embarrassing when your show gets canceled? Like your dad, does he like call?
I mean, do you call everybody and say, I got a show?
Here was my dad's comment on the show. My dad saw the show, I swear to God. I said, what do you think of the show? He goes, yeah, I wouldn't rush home to watch it. That's not bad. It's all right. I wouldn't run home to see it.
Oh.
It's not Seinfeld. I go, hey, Dad, it just started.
Yeah. When the show was canceled, did you want to beat Stuttering John up for it?
You know, this is interesting because I got to tell you something, and this relates to what you're saying about Jackie. when it was canceled, my manager was looking at me like it was the end of the world. And at the time, I was like, hey, you know, what's the show, dude? I'll get another show. That's all right. I had no idea, and this may be what Jackie's going through, how hard it would be to get that going again. That was lightning in a bottle, and I've had 4 deals since then. Right. They all fell through.
Very hard to get something on air.
Very, very, very hard. And I had no idea at the time.
I even said to him, I said, you're a 53-year-old guy. You don't know you got to go. Who do you think's looking for a 53-year-old guy, comic writer? I said, you got a situation here, ride it out.
Yeah,
but, you know, I can't put my head on his shoulders.
When you're in a Paramount lot, you know, it seems like you're always going to be in a Paramount lot.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, I'll do another one.
When those gates close behind you, you know, it's 2 months before you're out there and they're going, I'm sorry, what's your name? Do you have a pass?
Yeah, who are you? But I had a show here. Yeah, but it's a good lesson for everyone.
Had, right? There was none of that.
Yeah, but you don't know what's going to happen. How do you know what's going to happen?
There was a whole weird thing that started out right from the beginning where I went out to the hallway to talk to Joey, and he goes, hey, Gary, thanks for not returning my phone call 2 Thanksgivings ago. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I've spoken to Joey probably 4 times in the last year and a half. I'm probably one of the few people in any business, show business or otherwise, that calls him back pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. So he seemed to have some bug about me, you know, the whole thing. So he said, can I bring my wife in? And I said, I don't think that works. Why don't you bring her into the green room, and then you'll go in, and then if Howard wants to call for her, you know, call for in. And he said, okay. And then when I walked out to get him, Howard goes, bring them in. Joey goes, bring my wife in. And I said, no, you're not, Joey. And he goes, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I said, Joey, we just talked about this 20 minutes ago. No, we didn't. Yeah, we did, Joey. We just talked about it. Well, I changed my mind. I go, I know, I changed mine as well. She can't come in. And it got so, this is, of course, while I'm walking her in. So it got to be, he was very odd today. He was in this very odd and contentious mood. And then I guess I was the brunt. I didn't hear it, but I guess I was the brunt of Gary's keeping me off the show.
Where you going, JD? Yeah. JD, where you going? Why are you writing it on paper? Why don't you speak into the microphone?
It was something that we already covered, actually.
So what?
It was a good point, though, JD made.
Well,
look, I won't say, Ronnie, I won't say
speak up, man.
I won't say it was JD because I didn't have this conversation with him. But some people said that when you went and said you're coming all over me, you were trying to create another catchphrase.
No, I wasn't. Oh, God.
It was very odd, Ronnie.
Yeah,
it was very odd.
Yeah, okay, like your catchphrase yesterday.
No, my catchphrase yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, pussy fog.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You don't hear me using pussy fog, do you?
You don't hear me using coming all over me either, do
you did, actually.
I used it once today. That's it.
Okay. That's right. That's all we need is one.
All right. Don't come in and write it on paper. Speak into the microphone.
I didn't want to bring something
That's why they call it the rapper show. You talk here.
Hold on. I
know you can't talk good.
I hadn't been listening, and I didn't want to bring something up that had already been discussed already. I was having respect for the show. Unlike you,
why? Since when do you have respect for the show?
I have respect for everything I'm involved in.
Good.
Why did you email a spoiler alert to Howard that had the spoiler in the title?
That is amusing. I'd love to hear this explanation.
There was a mention, Arquette mentioned Howard on Jimmy Kimmel, and I forwarded the message, and I assumed he had already seen Arquette had gotten kicked off. So I just put spoiler alert, Arquette was kicked off last night.
But why would you assume it? Because you don't know that Arquette's kicked off till like 9:58, right?
Yeah, well, I assumed he woke up early enough or tried to find out or something.
Because most people would have been, spoiler alert, don't read this if you don't want to know who got kicked off Dancing with the Stars last night.
He's going to see either way. He's going to see who mentioned him on Kimmel.
No, but if you said what I just said, then he wouldn't do that.
No.
But Gary's saying, like, you would just say, spoiler alert, the results of Dancing with the Stars vote is
either way,
in there.
If I put spoiler alert or not, it would have been spoiled because he would have seen that
not if he didn't want
had
No, he
mentioned
wouldn't
him.
have. He wouldn't have. Oh, if you said spoiler alert, don't open if you don't want to know who got kicked off Dancing with the Stars. He wouldn't have opened it.
He would have to know either way.
So you were being sarcastic writing spoiler alert.
A little bit, yes.
But sometimes sarcasm gets lost in an email.
Well, sorry.
Did Howard open his email and then did it spoil it for him, or did he already know?
I think he already knew.
Yeah. So there you go.
You came all over him, man.
Hi, I'm Amy Schumer. I'm a comedian, and I'm here at Sirius to be on Howard Stern's radio show. And it seems like people really like it.
Now, yeah, it's mildly popular.
Yeah, he has some listeners, right? He's growing. He's a work in progress.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of faith.
Yeah, in Jesus.
It's gonna be all right. Oh, of course.
The Lord will guide more listeners toward him.
As long as you give your soul to the Lord.
Oh, it's been given.
Okay.
My soul's been with the Lord for a while.
I figured you had that look to you.
Yeah, like I've been saved.
Amy, this is a big deal for you as a
This
comedian.
is it. This is the biggest deal there is for a comic.
Well, have fun today.
Any advice?
And just Godspeed, and may the Lord bless you and keep you.
He's always with us.
And also with you.
I should probably play Amy Schumer's appearance on the Charlie Sheen roast to get everyone all excited about her, right?
Yeah.
Because she's out in the green room, and I got a lot to get to today. I got to still play Richard and Sal's new phony phone call that involves
Oh,
Ronnie.
that was an old one you just played.
That was just old, yeah. Amy Schumer is a young comedian. I think when Whitney Cummings went off to do her TV show, they had to get somebody new on Comedy Central who can be hot and be funny. So here is a. Hold on, Gary. Slow it. I'm going to play Amy. I'm going to play Amy on. Do you listen to the show out there? You always see the poor guest getting heave-hoed right out of here.
I was listening.
All right. I just thought it would be weird to play her appearance while she was sitting here.
Okay.
Okay? That's how I generally work into these things. Okay. How many years I've been with
Because we go over all of this before we get in.
Well, all you got to do is listen to the radio. That's why I put a speaker in your room.
Hi.
Hey, Amy. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
I'm happy to have you.
Look at this.
Look at your headphones.
Hi.
Look at you. How are you? Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we're glad to have you here.
What is this?
That's
this
a wire.
hurts.
What hurts?
What's this thing?
Let me see. I don't know. It's a clip of
It's
some
like
sort.
a netting.
It's like stabbing me. This
Is it?
this is karma.
Is it hurting you? I could have it fixed.
No, I'll just like awkwardly sit like this. I'll hold it out like this.
Hey, Gary, the headphone wire is frayed and it's sticking into Amy's neck.
My precious angelic
neck.
You come out of here all marked and scarred.
Be like, what happened? I'm like, oh,
What
it's
is
not
that?
Howard.
I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know.
Looks like someone had beaver teeth and gnawed through it.
A Jackass fan came in here.
Yeah, right.
This is their attempt.
Switch to number 2?
Okay, whatever you want to do.
Ooh, thank you.
Look at this. All right, here, I'll switch your microphones. I mean, headphones, microphones. It's both. Watch Gary at work.
Oh
Look how
my
good.
God, look at this. Thank
That's
you.
better. Okay.
How you
Miracle
feel now?
worker.
Feel
I
good?
feel wonderful. Yeah, I feel good.
Amy, so whenever I have a comedian in here and they do one of those roasts, I love to ask them about how awkward it is because when you sit there,
It's dangerous. You got Mike Tyson you're goofing on.
Yeah, and he was like so gentle, but you do have the feeling like, oh, you could murder me right now.
I watched that roast and I thought, I don't think Mike Tyson understands. Like he should just quiet down. Like he was actually arguing with you. Like,
Like, are we going to take this? Like he's
Right.
like starting a riot.
I think some people don't ever watch a roast before
Right.
they do it. And so he thought it was like an urban like comedy situation where it was like good to participate. But it was like, no, he kept talking to me. That's why I had to.
Did anyone calm him down during the commercials and explain, Mike, this is something where you just kind of take
Don
it?
King was there.
Yeah.
No, nobody. He was.
Don
everyone
King's
was
there to explain it to him.
Yeah, everyone was so worried. I think he was like the wild card that they were
Right.
like he could really blow it, but he did a great job. He did I think even better than it seemed like he did.
You got criticized at the roast because you did a joke about Steve.
Steve-O, right.
was the guy who died, but I didn't think it was that offensive of a joke. It wasn't
No.
about that guy. It was more about Steve.
It was about Steve. Yeah, no, I really like the Jackass guys in those movies. I totally just thought of it as another roast joke. That wasn't like.
Was he angry with you afterward?
Well, Comedy Central chose to cut to him looking like he was about to start sobbing.
Right.
So people were like, "Oh my God! Like, why did you ruin Steve-O's life?" But I didn't think that would be like the joke heard around the world. I didn't talk to him after because he was at the hospital because his nose was broken.
Because of this thing he did on the road?
Because Tyson, yeah, he kept running into Tyson's fist.
And he broke his nose.
Yeah, that was the goal.
That is insane.
Yeah, it wasn't fun to watch. I left the stage. I was like, that's not.
And you know what?
Need that.
They barely spent any time on it. Was like all for nothing because
Yeah.
Steve just ran into Mike Tyson's fist And he broke his own nose.
Yeah, if you watched at the very end, William Shatner's watching, and he goes, he says something like, Steve, oh my God. Like, it was just, it was not a fun display. I didn't like seeing that live.
I feel bad for Steve-O because he's not, I know he wants to be a comedian and stuff.
Yeah, he's doing stand-up.
But he always then relies on the stunt that's going to eventually get him killed.
There is a sadness to that, but people love him.
Yes.
Like, he has I found out the hard way, they have majorly hardcore fans.
I love Steve. I've had him on the show many times.
He's great.
But I always think he's going to kill himself. Like, he'll all of a sudden light himself on fire. And I go, one time this is going to go horribly wrong.
He's a liability.
That's the fear, because he feels he has to deliver that.
I know. And it was like, he so is going in the stand-up direction, but anything like that, there's a sadness to it.
Now, I hadn't heard your roast in a while, and then I realized you were making some funny jokes about Patrice O'Neal's diabetes.
Yeah.
He's a comedian. I've had him on the show.
Yeah, I love him.
But he had like a stroke over the weekend.
He did. He had a stroke.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I saw that.
didn't even hear that.
I saw that on Twitter, that he had is it a severe thing where
I think so. Like, there's only been, I work at the Comedy Cellar a lot, and there's only been some sprinklings of what happened, but yeah, it's
What's
really.
the sprinkle? I mean, what do you hear?
He's not seeing anyone. Like, nobody's allowed to go see him, but he, God, I don't know. I'm gonna start crying. He was like passed out. Like, I think maybe he can blink, but he can't move. He can't talk. But this is like third-hand
information.
Yeah. So yeah. But if anybody wants to email love for Patrice at Gmail,
funny guy.
Set up.
Incredibly funny, yeah.
Oh, he's one of the best comedians working. I think people who don't know much about the roast think that there's any sort of venom there, but it's like, it's more, you get to go after the comedians the hardest.
Right.
It's called Love for Patrice
at Gmail.
At Gmail, and you can write him.
Just write, you can just.
Is he going to live? You don't
I don't know.
I just thought all comedians know the health of every other comedian.
No, I mean, he's a friend. Like,
they're a small community.
Especially the New York comics, it is kind of a tight knit thing. But it's that there aren't really answers yet. It's not that I haven't gotten word. There's no real answers yet.
So did it ruin the foot joke? I mean, the fact that Patrice.
No, I still think that's like a sweet joke. That joke was gold.
Yeah.
But no, he loved it. He was, and he's been in here. He's the most vicious. He can just slaughter you.
Oh my God. Funny story. I thought he was terrific. I heard some comedy tape of him.
Amazing.
So I invited him on the show. He came on a couple of times, I think. I think I have this right. I'm not sure I even remember. So at one point I said to Gary, gee, we haven't seen Patrice O'Neal in a while. He said, oh, he's not doing the show anymore. He's mad at you. I said, what did I do? I don't even know him that well.
You had a falling out.
We had a falling out. And he said, you were on the air one time. You couldn't think of his name. And you said to Robin, he's a heavy set or a fat black guy. I can't think of his name, the comedian we have on. So Robin said, oh, Patrice O'Neal. And he got angry with me that I didn't remember his name.
Oh, really? Because he still talks to me. I saw him outside.
Did you?
Not too long ago. And I said, hey, Patrice. And he was like, hey, Robin, how you doing?
Really? Oh, well.
But I hadn't seen him in here, and I did wonder why we hadn't had him in.
He's sensitive. He's a sensitive man. He holds a grudge.
I said to Gary, I said, oh, that's such a shame. I said, I don't know him.
Funny.
Yeah, he's great.
His name was not on the tip of my tongue that day, but I was trying to describe to Robin who I was talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He should understand that sometimes I have to remind Howard of my name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, who are you?
You were great on the roast, Robin.
Oh, thank you.
Did you have fun doing that?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, right?
A lot of fun.
But it's tough. It's like all your worst nightmares as a child in school coming true.
Was that the first roast you ever did for Comedy Central?
Yeah, I found out 2 weeks before that I was doing it.
So are you the hot girl who now gets the Whitney?
Are you going to take the Whitney slot?
Do you get the Whitney?
I'll take that slot for sure. I'll take Lampanelli's slot. I'll take whoever's. Yeah, I bet she has a nice slot.
So would you say that your career is struggling? Like it's a tough career because now
are you making it? What is going on?
I'm here.
Where are we at? You're
I'm here.
Now
this looks like Vegas.
You were. It does, doesn't it? It's a really tacky set. You were, but don't say that because the guys are very proud of it.
No, it looks amazing. This is a dream come true.
I always say to any of the comedians, were there jokes that you were going to do at the Charlie Sheen roast that got cut?
Yes.
There were.
There were.
Would you share those with us?
Yes, I will. I'll share some. Let's see. and I don't remember why these were cut. Some of them, like Harvey Levin, backed out at the last second. He was supposed to do it.
TMZ guy.
TMZ guy.
Okay.
Yeah. And did you know he's gay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that until I was. Oh, okay.
Okay.
He just talked about cock nonstop, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, wait a minute.
He just
dawned
sang
on me.
show tunes the whole time.
It actually dawned on me that he was gay when he talked about cock for 20
Is that
minutes.
what led you to believe that?
That's right.
I said, Harvey, you are one tiny little queer. The only box you'll ever come close to are the 3 you stand on to see over the cubicles. Said, you've done more fudge packing than a Keebler elf who loves anal. I said, Harvey, you bottom-feeding, despicable Jew. And I could say that because I'm honest.
Right.
You make your entire race go from saying never again to, well, just this once.
You should have been there.
I know. He backed out. I was so bummed.
That
I
would've
was
been
going to
so
go after
good.
him.
Yeah. Now, do you write these yourself?
Yeah.
Wow, that's hard, huh?
It is.
What is the process of coming up with roast jokes? What is the inspiration? Like, what do you do? Do you sit yourself down in a room and go, I am going to think about Harvey Levin. About
what's the meanest, worst thing? What do I think his deepest insecurity is?
Right.
Or just like my fat jokes about Shatner. I'd originally written those for John Lovitz, but Lovitz looked pretty good, so I was like, I just kind of transferred them to Shatner. And then I found out while we were sitting there that he's like in his 80s.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm calling this 80-year-old guy fat.
But
like,
made it even
give him
funnier.
a break. But he was a good sport.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But they cut out my Jeff Ross ones.
Do you feel bad about making fun of people at all? Does it get?
If I thought I really hurt someone's feelings, I would feel like shit.
Do you come up with really mean jokes that are so bad that you go, I cannot say this on a roast?
Yeah.
But that's the process. You've got to let everything fly.
Yeah.
And then you kind of tone it
which
down.
is weird because that Steve-O joke, I did not think that was going to be anything. You know, I didn't go into this roast like, I don't care who I hurt. I want to see my name in lights. I just wanted to do a good job and write jokes that I was proud of.
The other one I thought that was really was the, those 2 women whose lives you ruined, your daughter.
Yeah,
that was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a real good one.
I thought that was one that would have gotten more flack. But
How long
you never
does
know.
it take you? Like you get basically like 2 or 3 minutes on those roasts.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to come up with your roast material, your A game for a roast?
Well, it's 6 minutes. We get like between 6 and 8 minutes, except Jeff Ross gets like an hour.
Right, because he's so good at it.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best. Well, Geraldo was the best.
Yeah.
Greg Giraldo was great.
Oh, God. Yeah. So I think I found out that I might maybe do it like a month before. So I just started writing, and going around trying my set out. When I found out I was definitely doing it 2 weeks before, I went to every club and tried out the jokes.
Every joke, right.
And
Yeah,
Charlie Sheen is pretty easy. I mean,
that's a lot to work with. And you don't feel bad doing it because his life is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's like not that much sadness to him. And I was glad he had us all over at his house the night before.
Oh, really?
At his manager's house. And he was just so cool. He just, I think, wanted to look us in the eye and make sure we weren't like, we're going to get you.
That's kind of weird. I had no idea.
I didn't know that.
What a preemptive strike.
It was, I thought it was a great idea. It's just, because
But does that make you eliminate some of the jokes that the fact that you were at his home?
Yeah, when Lovitz wasn't really fat, I eliminated those jokes.
No, but I mean, did it make you eliminate any of your Charlie Sheen material because you were meeting him?
Oh, no, not at all.
I would think maybe that would ruin it ahead of time. If I was Comedy Central, I'd be like, no one's getting together the night before.
No, they liked it. I think they're going to make it a tradition.
I see.
Because it's like, the way I felt about it was like, we're all kind of we're all doing this show together. We're all making this show together.
What do you mean they decided to call you like a month in advance and say maybe you'll be on?
Well, they shoot for the stars. Like, I think they put an offer out. They put out offers like Johnny Depp. You know, they hope someone's going through a bad phase. Like, they'll just catch someone having a meltdown.
But is Johnny Depp really the right guy to have to one of those roles? You've got to be really
He's
professional.
Hilarious. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Johnny Depp, I mean, would be a disaster, although people are excited to see Johnny Depp, the movie star.
People love famous people.
Yeah, but I mean, you need a couple of views.
You need comedian, like comics do the best on there, no question. They sweeten everybody else's set after the fact. But the comics, I think, always do the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite part of the whole process was running around getting ready.
So what did they cut of you? What did you say about Jeffrey Jeffrey Ross that they cut out.
Oh, they cut out all my Jeff Ross jokes.
Really?
Yeah. I to intro to him, I was like, Jeff Ross is gross. I was like, but I mean, I could see a girl hooking up with you, Jeff. I would sit on your face just so I wouldn't have to look at it.
That's good. Why did they cut that?
I don't know. I think just for time. They like to see the stars. Like,
Right.
I mean, and he's a star, but he's not Sheen. Kate Walsh she's had such a full life, but no one to share it with. She really proves that no amount of money in the world can fill the hole that her uncle used to. They said no.
Oh.
They're like, no. I'm like, okay.
I don't know. I would have liked her.
Right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
She was cool. She's so cool. She would have been fine with it.
Does it kill you inside when you've crafted these jokes, you went to comedy clubs, and then they go, ooh,
And they stay on that piece of paper.
You mean the audience or Comedy Central?
Does it kill you that, like, you spent all this time working on a joke and then suddenly Comedy Central says at the last minute, ooh, no, no one's ever going to hear it?
Yeah, it hurts.
Does, right?
It's like a loss. Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can't wait almost to deliver that joke.
Yeah. There's so many changes last minute that I was like, oh, it's going to be like this. Like, I was supposed to go up earlier, and then they're like, you're going almost at the end. So it's all these things, and you're just like, oh, and they don't care about, they care about the celebrities. I didn't even get, like, my makeup touched up. Nobody told me the red carpet had started. I was like, anyone want my picture? And they were like, no, thanks. No one knows you.
Do you have these jokes memorized in a sense because you've worked so long on them?
Well, I only worked for 2 weeks on them, really. So a little bit, like I'd said them a bunch, but they're not on the tip of my tongue like my act would be.
Is it your biggest fear that you'll craft a joke for the roast and then you're delivering it and then you stumble like over a word and then all of a sudden, like Sarah Silverman told me that's her biggest fear.
My biggest fear is rape.
Rape. Next to rape.
Then, right after rape, a close second is no, not at all. I don't know. I don't think so.
Would your biggest fear be getting raped at the roast?
Yeah, getting raped on TV.
And stumbling over your line.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Speaking of rape.
Yeah.
So the one taboo thing they said to you, you can go do the Charlie Sheen roast, do whatever you want. But Mike Tyson, you can't mention
talk about the rapings.
You can't talk about rapings.
Yeah, but we sort of skirted around that because once they realized, because it wasn't the network that said no rape, it was like I think Tyson's wife, or they were like, hey, can we just sweep that rape under the rug?
Yeah.
And we were all like, yeah, of course, we wouldn't bring that up. But one of my jokes, I just said, when you speak, you sound like a girl crying. Do you give yourself an erection? But he was like,
he didn't even understand that.
Yeah, it was that felt bad. That felt like like making fun of someone who was just like, what?
Why
but
didn't you say?
The whole time he was saying, hey, are we going to take this? I was like, oh, that brings up the rape to me.
I know. He's like, when should I start raping this girl? Shatner's like, I don't know.
Why didn't you say to Mike Tyson, I know you said no to the rape jokes, but since when does no mean no?
No means yes, Mike.
Yeah.
I wrote some good rape stuff that I had to cut. Losing the rape hurt. That really hurt.
That was a good minute.
That was a rape.
Yeah, you got raped by the rape joke.
Yeah.
So when you do these Comedy Central roasts, that brings you, like, I had never really heard of you, and you were on Last Comic Standing, and you came in 4th place.
Yeah.
And yet I never watched that show.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I didn't care about. I can't even believe it's still. Is it still on the air?
I don't know.
You don't even know.
Sometimes
I'd never seen it before I did it.
They don't. I don't think it was on this
it has
summer.
launched. No one.
Right. You know how American Idol had Kelly Clarkson? There is no one that got famous off that show?
No, not at all, which was a great thing. I'd been doing stand-up 3 years. I was like, who's from out of town? Like doing soft shoe, and luckily no one saw it. So I got to then, for a year after Last Comic, I went around and I headlined because, enough people watched it that you're a draw on the road. I really just got away with it. I'm surprised no one got their money back. And then I went back to opening for Attell and Norton and featuring and going on the road, and now I'm a headliner again.
Yeah, right. Did you always feel that you wanted to be a stand-up comic? Was this something like was a burning desire?
No, I'm looking to get out. I'm thinking about going to dental school.
You want that sitcom?
I don't know if I want that. I want to do work I'm proud of, like everybody,
Right.
But I love stand-up.
Where'd you grow up?
Rockville Center.
Oh,
yeah,
I know. A horrible place.
It is a horrible place.
I hated it.
I did not fit in.
A lot of funny people come out of Rockville Center.
That's true. Attell's from there also.
I always tell Robin, I thought it was very anti-Semitic. They have the archdiocese there.
Yes. They called me, instead of Amy Schumer, they called me Amy Jumer.
Oh, wow.
I'm serious. And one day, it was like this summer day, and I was walking past this bodega, and That's a deli for...
We don't know that. Yeah, right.
I did Rosetta Stone.
Right.
And these kids they're like start throwing pennies at me. And I didn't even know that was like I was confused because they looked really mad, but I was like, this is awesome. You know?
Hey, free money.
Well-seated Goonies.
Hey, they like me. They really like me.
Yeah, no, I dealt with total anti-Semitism in Rockville Center. They have that golf club and beach clubs where they're like, I'd have to change my last name so they didn't know I was Jewish. It's like the real deal.
So how do you end up in stand-up comedy if you didn't fantasize about it?
I was a problem child. Teacher's worst nightmare and class clown were like my little awards.
Oh, really? Were you really a bad kid?
Yeah, I had Saturday detention every single week.
Really?
Yeah, like Breakfast Club, Saturday
What would you
detention.
do in school that was so bad?
I was a huge wise ass. I would say the funniest thing I could think of. Like I just liked making myself laugh and making people uncomfortable.
Right.
I would always and I never saw the teachers as like these untouchable authorities.
Wow.
I'd be like, listen, Gil, I'm really bloated today. You know, I
can't be in your gym class.
Yeah, I was like, I know that you go home and you black out and you call hookers. Like, do I have to pretend because you're wearing a suit that I should respect? I just couldn't.
Wow, so you were disrespectful. Did you go to college?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, no, I wasn't disrespectful to the teachers that like treated you like a human being.
Right.
But, you know, the people who like just have, you know, personality disorders who take it out on kids. I like justice, you know?
Are men really intimidated by you because
That's
you're...
what I tell myself.
No, seriously. Are they? Do you have a boyfriend?
No. I'm
you
single.
don't? You
Yeah.
broke up recently?
Yep.
Were you dating the guy who was on the roast
Yeah.
with you?
Yeah, we were together for 2 years.
Which guy? Oh, that guy?
Anthony, yeah. He's great.
The guy whose
it
name
wasn't
you
bad.
didn't know.
Yeah,
Right.
like Vandersloot. Well, he has a rapey quality about him. I think that's why I was attracted to him. I always like guys that look like they could play.
Is it weird to date another?
Order.
Is it weird to date another comedian?
I mean, it
is
wasn't
it
weird.
competitive?
We were never competitive. Luckily, we were both doing pretty well.
Right. Who's
but
a better comedian, you or him?
Oh, me.
Right.
Come on, let's be
Clearly.
honest.
You're not going to date somebody better than
No,
you.
no. No, he's a great comic. He
Yeah.
really is. Yeah, I would love to be like, he's never going to make it, but I think he's going to.
So why'd you break up with him? Seemed like a happy couple, right?
We were good. It was just we wanted way different things. I would have loved for us to have stayed together.
What'd you want, marriage and everything?
No.
What different things do you want?
I already have a ring. The Nuva ring. What was it? It was just, you know, we're both on the road so much, and I was like down to try and make it work, and he like wasn't able to give as much as I needed, I guess.
Like what did you need?
A text message once in a while.
Like once a week at least?
Acknowledge me when you're not here.
Well, yeah, no. By the end, it was like I'd be like, can you text me after shows because we're both alone in hotel rooms and miserable. And it was like a parody of a guy like on a sitcom. Like, he was like, you're suffocating me, and I was like, what? Am I a waitress you banged in Fresno?
Hey, don't I know you?
Yeah. So like you know. He's
he
young.
wasn't for that.
No, but I'm excited. I'm
How old are
excited
you?
to be single. 30.
30, and how old's he?
33, 32.
Yeah, do you think he was banging other chicks on the side, maybe?
Not that I know of.
Right.
I don't think so. Like
when a
I've
guy
seen
doesn't-
girls like girls want him. You know, they throw them in front of me.
But when a guy doesn't text you, like he's on the road, you're on the road, and he doesn't text you for like 2 days.
Right.
I
You know, I wasn't even worried about that.
Wow.
Seriously, that's not why because it doesn't matter. I was like, I wasn't like, go cheat on me. I wasn't like, demi moi. I was like, you know, I hope you don't cheat on me. If you do, I hope I never know about it. And don't like catch any new disease.
Right. Be
Let's just
safe.
keep the ones we have already.
Right.
Let's harness those. But yeah, I don't think so. He's not. I thought he would be the type to be like that, but he like gets too drunk. I think that's what it is. I'm like, no, he won't be able to do anything anyway.
I mean,
but
you
I wasn't
clearly-
worried about that. I just wanted a friend, like my best friend, to be like, yeah, the MC sucks, and just, you know, talk.
You clearly are a funny person. Did
Thanks.
it kill you inside when you don't win America's funniest comedian?
No, I couldn't believe I was on there. I mean, 3 years, under 3 years I've been doing it, and the other guys had all been doing it 15, 20 years, and I'm just like every step of the way, just my like sort of reality character on that show was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Who won that year?
John Reap.
John Rape?
John Rape. John Sodomy?
John Rape. Who is this? John who?
Yeah,
John
he's like kind of a
Rape.
blue collar kind of guy.
I see.
Yeah.
So he won, and you didn't feel, oh, I'm not a funny person, I'm giving up the business.
No, I got fourth. I was like, oh my God, this is it. I broke up with my boyfriend at the time. I was like, I'm going on the road.
What were you doing before?
Sorting mail and bartending.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you, so now you're single. How long have you been single?
3 weeks.
You date anyone yet?
No.
Have you fucked anyone new?
No. We broke up one time about a year and a half ago, and I was like, all right, like, maybe I'm still like I was in college. Somebody needs this.
Right.
And I went out, and I was like, and I met a guy.
Where'd you meet him? At a bar?
At a bar.
Right.
I met a guy, and I didn't, like, I just thought he was really hot. I was wasted. That night, I was like, oh my God, he looks like the Twilight guy, like Robert Pattinson.
Oh,
you know?
that's a handsome guy.
In the morning, I'm like, you look like fucking Governor Patterson. Like, he is not cute in the morning. And I'd never dealt with an uncircumcised penis before.
Oh, he was uncircumcised.
He was uncircumcised. And
what was he, European?
He was French.
Ah,
I didn't even
French.
know he was French. I thought we were both just like faking the accent, you know? But like, I really realized like that men don't warn you. They just like roll it out, you know?
Yeah.
And so I had to become an award-winning actress. I'm like, oh no, that's totally cool. I'm like, Mom, can you come pick me up?
I got into something here.
Because men don't ever like tell you what you're about to deal with, you know?
never saw an uncircumcised penis in your... I don't think I've ever seen one, except for Sal, who whips
I've
it
never
out
even
every
seen
minute.
them in porn. Like, I was like, what is that? Are we having a pillow fight? Like, why is the gnome from Travelocity in your underpants?
Yeah.
Like,
Was it
I was
gross?
thrown.
Like, did it smell or something?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It did.
It was gross.
So did you blow him?
No.
No. So what did you like start giving him a hand job kind of thing?
I tried, but it was like an ice cream cone had melted in my hand. I felt like a magician with the scarves, just pulling. I was just like, get me out of here, you know?
Right.
But he was like, the French guys are different. Like he didn't expect anything. He like couldn't believe that this was happening, and he was really sensual, and he started to pick me up. You know, like when we're kissing, and then I think he realized that he was in over his head. I kind of got planted back down. I'm like trying to feel sexy, and he's like winded from trying to hoist me. But we were like, he gave up like immediately because he's French.
Right.
And
we know how they are.
You know how that goes.
Right.
But I left in the middle. I really did. Yeah, but it wasn't because of like I was like, all right, like your penis is making me ill, the thought of it, but like this little gnome, but it was. Was
it a big penis?
It was fine. It was totally acceptable.
And so you pulled back, and you saw like there was a whole different vibe to it.
I threw the skin over my shoulder like a team player.
And so then he put it inside of you.
He put on a condom. He put it inside me, and then we had to stop after like a second.
Why?
Because something was wrong with the condom, and he was fixing it, and I was looking at him, and he was like, "Well, don't look at me." But he was like, "Well, don't," and I was like, "Ew," and I was like, "You know what? I'm sad all of a sudden. I miss my boyfriend. I'm gonna leave," which you can do as a girl.
Yeah.
Like if a guy's like, "You know what?" You're like,
I mean, that's so. Do you ever feel as a girl like sometimes you have to say to the guy, "Okay, he was in me already. I should let him finish. So let him fuck me a little bit longer. I mean, we went this far."
I felt no responsibility to
Good for you.
For this guy to achieve orgasm.
You're very healthy.
When I was younger, I had a guy. I met a guy in Montana when I was like 19, and I was like, oh, he was so hot there. He was like a mountain climber.
Montana hot.
Montana.
Muscular.
He came and visited me in New York. Doesn't translate.
It's like when you get that moo-moo when you go to Hawaii.
Yeah,
you
you're
can't
like,
wear it when you
cannot
come home.
rock it when you're back at home. Yeah, so I learned that the hard way, but I was like 19, and he flew all the way here, so I got myself drunk enough to sleep with him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he flew so far. But now I'm older. I'm like, you can always get out of fucking someone.
What is
unless
it that
it's Tyson.
What is it that it doesn't work? I mean, it's kind of like he's out of his environment.
Yeah.
He's hot there. He doesn't fit in with my friends. That kind of thing.
Well, it was more than that. He was like pointing out gay people.
Oh, I see.
And he was.
Hey, there's a gay.
Oh, this is really New York.
Yeah. You know, when you're in the mountains and all you're seeing is the sky, and he was like in a Dave Matthews cover band. I was 19. Okay, I'm 19 years old, and but in retrospect, like he was such a dirtbag. Like he just wanted to.
Hey, wait a second. Here's the French guy who fucked you. We just found him.
Oh my God!
Oh, he's on the phone.
What was it like when you? What were you like? Did you enjoy having sex with Amy?
Oh my God!
It would have been nice to have a little sex with her.
You were having sex with her.
I was trying to have sex with her.
Yeah, so
instead of
like
flirting my
Borat.
foreskin over her shoulder.
This is not sounding
with
French.
the condom?
Oh, I don't know. The condom was grossed out too.
Was your foreskin?
Pretend it was upholstery. Use your imagination. You're a comedian.
Oh, my God. Flawless French accent.
Thank you. That's
Wow.
I trained him myself.
You're a dialect coach. I
That's
had
right.
no idea.
So you were a bad kid
Yeah.
who got in trouble at school, and then you make the switch to become a comedian somehow.
Yeah.
First time you get on stage, a disaster, I imagine. Where do you go to become a comedian?
I went to Gotham Comedy Club.
Yeah.
It used to be on a different street. It was like small, and I just walked by. I'd done theater, like I majored in theater,
Right.
so I didn't have to get over stage fright. But I
Where'd you go to college?
Towson University.
Where the
That's
hell
in
is that?
Baltimore.
Maryland.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maryland. Yeah. I
Acting center of the world.
Oh God!
Yes.
Everybody
that
comes
school
out of
has
Towson.
churned out every
I think
great
Meryl
artist.
Streep, Jack Nicholson,
Right.
Marlon Brando.
I think Brando. He'd
Brando.
come back
Talk
and
about it,
have a
but they
couple
all went
master
there.
classes. Yeah.
So you went there.
Charles Dutton, guys. Anybody?
Oh, boy.
Rock.
And then you got up on stage.
Yeah, I tried it
And you killed, I bet, the first time.
the first time. Yeah.
Did you have material when you got up on stage?
I walked past Gotham and it said, if you bring 4 people, you can get on stage. So I called, I'm from not far away, so I called people. They came in, and I wrote horrible jokes and delivered them like I was Seinfeld.
Yeah. What was the first joke that you ever told? Do you know?
Yes.
What is it?
Oh God, it was about when you're on the bus in the city. They have these things that go across town, you guys, that carry people, buses. You'll never have to worry about it. But
I heard
when you're on the bus, if you feel it like deflate, the tire deflate, it means like a person's getting on that's all jacked up. And it's like some woman like who comes on and her like there's like things living in her legs. I talked about that, and I talked about skywriting and how skywriting annoyed me because it always faded. And I had like a little arc to the set because I was like, so this summer if you're going to propose to somebody, guys, it was like it was horrible.
Was your delivery all wrong? Was it just like...
I had like some sense of timing, but
Right.
I have a tape of it, and it's the most. I would rather watch my parents have sex than watch myself do that again.
Did your family say to you, listen, you're destroying your life, this is ridiculous,
No.
you don't know what you're doing,
My mom was like, "When are you headlining the Apollo? You
Wow.
are." She inflated my sense of self my whole life. Like I thought I was a model. Like
Right.
then you get old enough, the kids start getting mean. But I walked in the first day of middle school, and I was like, "Who wants it?"
Because she convinced you were the best looking girl ever.
She convinced me. She was like, "You're an angel. You sparkle." And I was like, "Look what you made."
Mom.
Oh,
So
I
is
thought
that
it was
bad
amazing.
parenting? Can some parents go overboard in inflating their kids so that they're not prepared for the world?
Well, I feel like I'm glad she did that.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can prepare you for kids are so mean. Like they were so mean. So you're gonna, find reality sooner
Right,
or
it's
later.
there.
But
was your mom in shock whenever you did something bad because she was so convinced you were an angel?
Yeah, she would be like you. When I was in 6th grade, I bit a girl. She cut me in line, and it was like the day they had steakums at the cafeteria, which I found out later is just like not at all meat.
Yeah.
But this girl cut me, and I didn't really bite her. I just like scared her.
Right.
So they call my mom, and they're like, "Amy bit someone." She's like, "You have the wrong number." And I'm like, "Mom, I was just trying to scare her."
But your mother was a pushover. Hey, you
Yeah.
have a funny story. You went to Great Adventure one time, or one of those places, and you were
Yes.
waiting in line for a very long
yes.
time.
I went to Great Adventure,
Right.
and I don't like amusement parks. I think
Right.
they're horrifying. But I went to Great Adventure, and I was with this family, and they were intense about Great Adventure. They brought us. We had to go there at 6 a.m. so we could go through the stupid safari. We saw like one thing that might have been a monkey,
Right.
but I think it was just like a stuffed animal. It was like a pigeon wearing ears, and then we waited for the scream machine. And there's a special line where you can wait to sit in the front seat because that's the best seat because you look like you're going to die.
Right.
So we wait for hours, and then it's our turn to sit in the front. And who gets to cut the whole line and take our seat? Robin. Robin cut us.
Robin
on the scream
Quivers.
machine. Robin Quivers. You cut us.
Yeah,
What
you
kind of a
evidently-
human being? And we're all going, Robin. Robin. We've been
Did
waiting.
she get booed?
No, everyone was really excited to see her. She knew everyone loves her. She smiles, and everyone.
Great Adventure was a sponsor of ours. I remember this.
Right.
And because if you were a VIP, so to speak, you got to cut in front of the line.
Well, they had somebody bring me around to every ride.
Right. So, you don't really...
It was way more exciting to see you than it was. No one was pissed. Everyone was like...
Well, it's funny because they were a sponsor of ours, so Gary gets told, you can go to Great Adventure. You'll be able to cut in line.
Yeah.
He brings his wife, his 2 kids. They go. He cuts right in the line. He said he got booed so badly. And people started taunting him in front of it and his children and everything because in front of his, they were taunting the kids too because you know what, people had waited in line a really long time,
right?
And all of a sudden, look who's here, Gary.
Money bags,
money.
No, well, he doesn't have that smile.
Said it was
he doesn't
so
have
bad.
You know what it was? I realize now, especially hearing Amy's story.
Yeah.
Like the woman who brought us around, she said, "Oh, I had Chris Rock last week and everything." So I figure if you're going to get cut, you expect Chris Rock to walk up. You see me, like what the fuck?
What a disappointment.
So I was reading notes on you. You were a really bad person because you used to shoplift. You'd get into big trouble.
Wow. God, did I say that in my interview?
Yes,
I got arrested a couple times.
She got arrested a couple
You're
times.
lucky not to be in prison.
That is correct.
Every kid goes through a shoplifting stage.
Not like me.
But did you? I mean, every kid doesn't get caught.
Yeah. Well, I was. It was grand larceny. You shoplifted?
Oh my God! All of my friends. My mother did not like my friends. Now I realize why.
They are bad friends.
They would say, we're going to go to Roosevelt Field and we're going to have a shoplifting spree. And I would be in such a nervous panic. I go, well, I want to go along with the group. I want to be a part of this. And they were all terrific at it. I had a friend who could hide whole record albums. There was no CDs. It was record albums underneath his coat.
Oh, my God.
Another friend would go into like a Barnes & Noble type bookstore and steal every book, hardcover, softcover, everything. And it was sort of like a competition. So they bring me along. I'm sweating bullets. I don't want to steal anything. I have this. I'd never stolen anything in my life.
Yeah.
I walk into Macy's. And I saw tie tacks. Now, I don't wear ties. I'm a little kid.
What do you going to do with that? What do you need a tie?
But I wanted to steal something so I could be in with the crowd.
Look, guys, yeah.
And so I swiped a tie tack. I stuck it in my pocket. I was shitting in my pants. I came out with this tie tack like I had just won the lottery.
Right.
I remember bringing it home and feeling horribly. But the thing that saved me was I brought my cousin with me, and they wanted him to shoplift, and I felt in charge of him. Right. And I said, we're going home. I don't want anything bad. I went home, thank God. All my friends got caught, and they brought the police in. They were involved in everything. But these guys couldn't.
They were trailing them.
I don't know what happened, but somebody got caught in the store, and then that was it, and then it was all over for them. What was your story?
You got caught?
I got caught. Well, the first time I got arrested, I was out. I think it was like a junior Olympic. Like I played volleyball, and we were in San Jose, and it was something. My mom was the chaperone of this tournament, and we were going around, and I was just like stealing whatever, like candles, shot glasses, nothing like that I would ever use.
All junk that you'll never need.
Garbage. And I didn't get caught. The other girls got caught, and they said if anyone else did, fess up. And I'm like, we're a team, right, guys? Okay. I'm like, let's all tell them. I'm like, I did it. Now you guys go. And they're all like,
oh,
yeah, that's all you. Yeah. So I got in trouble. I got benched the whole tournament, knee pads around the ankles. My mom is just the chaperone, just staring at me. I think she still thought she probably didn't do it. Somebody probably planted something on her. But then the time I got arrested, bad. I want to tell you I was like 14, but it was I was like 21. I was like 20 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. I was at Bloomingdale's and with my.
Did you have a problem? Do you think you're a kleptomaniac?
Your face was extended.
Yeah. I had been shoplifting for a long time.
So some people actually have like a problem. Like you're not taking
stuff.
stuff.
Go into a store without it.
You're not taking stuff you need necessarily. It's just the idea, the thrill of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, isn't it sad? Like I'll read some police blotter when I'm in some city, and it's all like this 90-year-old woman was stealing milk to feed her grandson. I'm like, I already have that pinstripe pantsuit, but why don't I get another one? I was like really well dressed. It was college. I was like stealing a lot of nice clothes, but I figured out a way I could return the clothes and get cash.
Oh no!
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I was into it, but it wasn't about what I could get very much. It was the adrenaline.
Did you go to a psychiatrist about this?
Totally a rush.
Did you go to a psychiatrist about this?
Not
because
about this specifically. I mean, I've gone to many
Have you
psychiatrists.
stopped? Do you?
Oh yeah, no.
You're not going to take our. You're not going to
it.
take our little tchotchkes over there, are you?
No, I mean, they're gorgeous. They're really everything in this room looks amazing.
So you
no,
got
I don't have
caught?
a problem stealing things.
Right.
It was only from like
So who
big
caught you?
places. Bloomingdale's.
Bloomingdale's got you.
They're real. Beware, they're really tough.
And they took you down and they arrested you and the whole thing?
Yeah, and
Wow.
it was with my cousin who is
Senator Chuck Schumer.
he's not my uncle.
What is he?
I don't know. He's like my dad's cousin.
Oh, so you're not. You don't really know him.
We know each other.
Right. Does he
if
root
we saw
for
each
you?
other, I think he hopes that I probably get hit by a train, so my name can stop appearing. Yeah, it's never good press for me.
Don't you think the family is proud of you? Don't you think Chuck Schumer even says, "Hey, you know who my cousin is"?
I don't know what
it
she
depends
is, but
on the
we're related.
thing.
Right.
Like I think they thought Last Comic Standing was exciting, and being here, they'll be super excited about. But other things, like they don't really. Like I was trying to explain to my dad what a roast was, and he was like, "Well, maybe you shouldn't do that." You know, I was like, "Maybe not."
What does your dad do for a living?
He mostly just shits himself. He has MS. He lives in a hospital, but it's really somehow not sad because he still thinks he's like gorgeous. Like he's trying to get me to help him set up a Match.com profile.
Wow.
Right. I'm like, what do you want me to write? Like shits himself and has no memory. He's like, that's perfect.
So your parents are divorced?
Yeah.
And he has MS.
Yeah, but he's like happy. It's the weirdest. He's fine.
You
He's
don't
totally
feel sad
fine.
about any of this?
No, I mean, if I really think about it, it's so like I have seen my father drop heat in front of me at LaGuardia. It was the worst. I was going to spend the summer in Montana with my brother, and he was like, it was when you could still walk people to the gate of their plane. And my dad was like, I'm going to walk you to the gate. Like there were we knew it was getting worse. So we like went surfing for the last time together. Like we, all these last things. And that was really sad. Do it, please. I want you to
cry
know.
now. Let's see it.
No,
she's a bullshit artist. She's not crying. Right.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to cry. Can I have another latte?
Yeah.
Let me wipe my tears with this
That's very heavy to go surfing with your father for the last time.
That was really heavy.
Are you waiting for the big call from Saturday Night Live or something? Like, did you ever fantasize about being on there?
Oh, yeah.
Did you audition?
No, I've been asked to audition. I'm like, trying to get better, and I'm an actor, but I don't really do characters. But I'm not like, my goals change so much that I want to keep getting better at stand up, and I'm getting more acting work the past couple years. It's been really good.
In other words, you still enjoy doing stand-up. A lot of people, like I saw Eddie Murphy on David Letterman, who I think is one of the most brilliant stand-ups, and he was like, at 27, I was done with it. That's it. I never wanted to do it again.
I can't imagine that. I mean, that would be fine if that ever happens, but I can't wait to get on stage every night. Yeah. But it sucks traveling. I mean, everything other than the actual stage time is awful. Like, it's really depressing.
Especially for a girl, because like guys at least go on the road and get laid a lot.
They'll get drunk. They'll get laid. After the show, I'm like, I hope no one says anything too mean to me. I'm like selling my CDs. I'm like, everyone has something. They'll be like, they'll think it's a compliment, and I'm like, they'll be like, you're a lot thinner in person, and I'm like, did you think that I wasn't going to hear that? Like, well, on TV, you're a fucking beast.
Do guys hit on you at all at these clubs?
A tiny bit, but they don't do it well. You know, they'll like come up and try and like make a joke. I would love to like meet a guy and be like, let's check out the Best Western. You're
a successful stand-up comedian. Can you make a good living doing it nowadays? Yeah. Or is like income gone down because everyone's sort of hurting?
The economy?
No, I'm in a good position. I'm not rich. I live in a studio and ride my bike everywhere.
What kind of living can a stand-up comic who's really headlining now and doing a good...
Like headlining now on TV a little bit.
Yeah.
You can make 100.
Can you make 200?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So you could have a good year, make 200 grand.
Yeah, totally.
And you travel. How many days a week you got to travel?
I'm usually on the road 4 days a week.
Okay.
I'm trying to do it less. I'm trying to only go out maybe 1 or 2 weeks a month.
Right.
But
the bigger you get, if you do a couple more of these Comedy Central
and
things,
you get to do a theater.
Right. And then suddenly the world is your oyster.
Oh, you have a private jet. There is no road. You get to fly home, sleep in your own bed.
You'll never drive yourself
have sex with your own wife.
So what's the goal? You want to be the world's greatest stand-up?
No.
You just want to make a living being a stand-up. You want to get more acting work.
Yeah, I want to develop. I want to make...
What's the best acting job you've had?
I just did a movie with Steve Carell.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's called Seeking a Friend for the End of the World.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, and I'm developing a show with Comedy Central, and CBS just bought a pilot.
Oh, very nice.
I'm making moves, and I'm going to be on this show that's on Adult Swim called Delocated, and it's the funniest show I've ever seen.
So this is it for you. You're on your way.
I'm trying. I want to just, like, you know, like, what do you think? Don't you just have to keep making it interesting and fun for yourself?
Yes, you do. You
Right?
do. Yeah,
That's
otherwise you go insane. Let's go to Rick. We're on with Amy Schumer. Her album Cutting is available now on iTunes. Are you referring to the fact that you cut yourself or something?
That my cousin did. Yeah, my sister did.
Your sister was a cutter?
Well, that's what the joke is on the album.
Oh, that's funny. What?
Yeah, well, the way I get off stage is I say, I'll leave you with this. My little sister, used to cut herself. And then I put the mic in the mic stand and I leave.
And that's the joke.
That's the end of my set. After I spend an hour with these people, I leave them with nothing.
Is that a reality or is that a joke?
It's a joke.
It's a joke. I'm not clear, but I won't press you.
No,
on that.
my sister's a school psychologist doing really well.
I see. Okay, very good. All right. Well, that's what happens. If you do cut yourself, you become a psychologist. Rick, go ahead in Pittsburgh.
Hey, thanks, King. Amy, were you spanked growing up, and do you think you still deserve a spanking for all that shoplifting you did?
Well, thank you for asking that.
All right, that's
Richard.
but it is an interesting question. You know
I
what?
was spanked growing up.
And fully nude?
Yeah, and once in a while a finger would slip in, and I'd be like, wait, is this punishment or not?
Who was spanking you? Your
Mom
dad?
spanked me.
Your
Dad
mom.
spanked me once because Mom made him, and he cried the whole time.
But they didn't
which
make
was
you,
really awkward.
Did they make you pull down your pants and get spanked?
I don't remember being ass out. Luckily, I was at an age where I like totally had it coming. If they hadn't spanked me,
she remembers.
I
What
loved
about
every
that sexual?
second of it.
Because I find you a very intelligent woman,
Thank you.
a very bright, sexy woman. But I could see where a guy gets intimidated because let's say we get in bed and then I want to spank you or something like that. I would think, oh, she's going to think this is funny. She's going to make jokes about it. I mean,
I
guys,
have no jokes in the bedroom.
You are able to
I am
turn
dirty,
it off.
and I have no jokes in the bedroom.
What does it mean you're dirty?
I like having fun in
Not
bed.
anal.
I've never had
You
anal.
talk dirty?
Yeah.
Oh,
you do?
I like being talked to. I like talking. But I dated a guy.
Yeah.
The last guy I dated, he needed, the sex got really weird really fast. Which I guess it has to. Because if you don't enter that stuff in early, like after 5 years and you're like,
it's hard to put
will
it
you
in.
wear this rice patty hat? You'll be like, where is this coming from? But, so it got to a place where he wanted to watch me watch porn every time, and he needed me to talk constantly about things I'd done.
Oh.
So at a certain point, I ran out of shit. And I started lying, and then he
because
started.
you're not that sexually experienced. I mean, there's only so many experiences.
There's only so much I've done.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm making up stories, and then he started fact checking. He'd be like, wait, you said, I'm like, fuck you. I haven't had a new story for a year.
Right.
It was exhausting.
Tell me the time that girl came on to you.
Yeah.
And,
I'm like,
right.
do you really think any of this happened?
At
It's like
some
whenever I
point-
start dating a guy, I always pretend maybe I'm like, I don't know, I've thought about a threesome, but. And then 6 months in, I'm like, I'm not doing that.
At
That's
some
weird.
point, at some point, it
You just got to having sex,
it can
right?
get it can get exactly.
Yeah,
it can get
what about
weird.
just fucking each other?
Yeah, doesn't it feel good enough being inside
What
of
happened
me?
to penetration?
Yeah.
Right.
Come
Do you need
on.
a lot of foreplay?
Not a lot.
Right.
I like
If a guy spanks you, you don't think that's weird though, right? You're
No.
okay with you're down with it.
I'm more than down with it.
Right. Oral
Yeah.
sex okay with you both ways?
Totally.
You're all right with it.
Huge fan.
Unless you're not circumcised.
Yeah, in which case, get out of here.
Gunplay.
Gunplay?
Choke
Only on
you-
the high holy days.
Shoot you in the foot, maybe, with my gun? All right. Let's go to Bill. Bill says he wants to say hi to Amy Schumer, the new album Cutting, available on iTunes. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Howard. Hey, now.
Hey, now.
Hey, Amy. How you doing?
Hi, Bill.
I really love you.
Thank you.
All right, I don't think we're going anywhere with this. Nick, let's go to Nick in Charleston, West Virginia. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard, I just want to get your opinion. Don't you think she's 10 times hotter and funnier than Whitney Cummings?
Well, what about that? Are you, because you...
Are
sort
you
of,
hotter
because,
than Whitney?
Yeah, first of all, yeah.
No.
Are you hotter than Whitney Cummings?
That's a definitive no.
Are you friends with Whitney Cummings?
Yeah.
Okay. I like Whitney very much.
Me too.
Now, because you're a female comic, it's almost like, Eddie Murphy was talking about this. He was the black comic for a while. He was like, there was no room for two.
Yeah.
It's like you sat in, Whitney wasn't on the comedy roast. Now, are you being compared to Whitney now? Is it like a competition?
I haven't, no one has said that to me, but I think there's room for all of us, for real.
I would think so.
And I don't know how other people feel, but when I see a funny woman, I'm like, yes, like, trust me, I don't want to be the one. I think women are hilarious. So at Whitney, there's no sense of competition.
Whitney's very funny.
She's motivated. Like,
Are you a Sarah
great.
Silverman fan?
Yeah, totally.
Are you a Sandra Bernhard fan?
Yes.
You like you root for other comics.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Rosie O'Donnell, you enjoy her?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. No,
Ellen DeGeneres, you like her?
Yeah.
You do. So
She had me on her show. I was the first female comic. She had me on her show.
Do you know her personally?
Just from her, her getting me on the show. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to
Howard, can I throw in one more thing?
Yes.
Whitney, or I'm sorry, Whitney. Amy.
You can call me whatever you want, Bill. Oh, Bill's gone. This is West Virginia.
Nick, go ahead.
I have masturbated to those pictures of you online many times.
What pictures?
Thank you.
What pictures?
I posed naked in Cosmo.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to...
Sexiest thing I've ever seen.
Is that
Thank
true?
you. Yeah.
You were nude?
Yeah,
No hang-ups,
I shot
huh?
at the Comedy Cellar.
You have big breasts now.
Thanks.
Look at, what are you, like a C?
Yeah.
I'm going to say you're a C cup. No inhibition about that.
No, I'm like, I better do it now while everything is still kind of where it's supposed to be.
Did anybody say to you, like an agent or anything, like, listen, Amy, don't do this?
Yeah, and I was like, bye. I'm doing this.
And what'd your mom say about this?
She was at the shoot.
She was there.
She was watching the door. We did it at the Comedy Cellar, and she was making sure no beer deliveries came in while I was...
You showed the vagina?
No.
Just the titties?
Yeah.
What'd you do with the vagina?
I was just in underwear. I mean, they were like, will you take off your panties? And I was like, okay. And my mom was like, no.
No, you pay for that.
Oh, yeah. I was like, okay.
No kidding.
No, yeah.
I have to see this.
Check it out.
Oh, you are free.
Hey, thanks, Howard.
Why did you bring your mom to a nude shoot?
I don't know. I think,
I wouldn't feel sexy in front of my mom.
I didn't mind it. I guess that is pretty boundaryless and disgusting, but I felt fine. Because it wasn't about, it's Cosmo, so, I mean, I wanted to feel sexy, but
Was
it was
your mom
more,
naked too, just to support
everyone
you?
was naked.
Beautiful,
Her boobs were on the floor, running around.
Wow.
No, it was,
there it is.
There's one of them.
Look at you, naked. Oh.
Smug over the shoulder shot. Yeah, it was like about the article I wrote to go along with it. They gave me like 6 pages. Like they've been very cool to me. Kate White, the editor-in-chief there, is the coolest woman ever.
You look so cute there.
Thank you. Yeah, they chose like a little cute one. I was like, can we use the ones where I look dirty? And they were like, no.
But no nips? You don't see any nipple?
No. Well, I have some. I don't know if there are any online where you see nipple, but there were some where you saw more.
Yeah, and you have a good body image. In other words, you don't sit there all day like these women and obsess. Oh, I've got to lose 5 pounds. I got to gain 10 pounds. You're not freaked out.
I mean, I'll have days where I'm like, oh my God, what happened? But I feel like sexy. I feel like good. I work out. I take care of myself.
When you date a guy, do you walk around the house nude?
Not over like not a no. I'm not like the sign like opening pickles. But I'm naked a lot. I'm not hurrying to the bathroom covering myself up. All
right, Abe, go ahead. You're on the air. You're on with Amy Schumer, and then I'll let you out of here. We've kept you locked up for an hour. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Hey, Howard. Hey, now.
Hey, Abe.
Amy, just a question and a comment.
Okay.
Number one, what is it you do for a living? And number two, I'm looking forward to seeing you appear on a carton of milk.
Okay.
What does that mean? That's an insult.
He's insulting
He wants me to be.
I saw you on the Charlie Sheen roast. I didn't think you were funny at all.
Okay.
Oh, come on. She was so funny.
Oh, yeah. Her joke about...
what about her talking about her dad? How much darker does this get?
Oh, yeah, the joke that she made about Steve-O's buddy...
that was not a bad joke.
You're upset about that.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What made you upset about me saying that joke? Let's talk about it.
I thought it was tasteless.
It hurt your feelings. You thought it was too soon.
No, it didn't hurt my feelings. I just really thought it was tasteless.
Okay, you're completely entitled to feel that way. I didn't say it with any malintent. I didn't think that it was going to hurt anyone's feelings, but I understand you feeling that way. That's okay.
Okay. I mean, I'll tell you that you're cute as hell. I'd love to bang you.
Thank you. Well, that means the world.
That's something.
That means the world.
By the way, I should tell you, this guy is Anthony Jeselnik, the guy you date. Yeah, so go ahead, Pat. Pat, you're on
Hey, how you doing, Howard?
Hey, now.
Amy, you were on a roast a while ago, and you did a joke about leg braces. It was the funniest thing. And
thanks.
What one was
I
that?
think you're the greatest comedian. And I'm glad you're getting, the recognition you deserve. And Howard, I love you, 20-year listener plus.
Thanks, Pat.
And thanks for getting me through every day.
All right, Pat. Thank you.
you.
What was the joke that Pat's
I said I wasn't a good-looking kid, but then the old story, I finally got the braces off of my legs, and that's it. But that's really nice.
Well, Amy, I wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
It was great having you here.
Thank you for having me here. This
the
is a
album
dream.
is called Cutting. I enjoyed your performance on Charlie Sheen Roast,
Thank
and I
you.
wanted to meet you, and I'm glad you came in. I think you're great.
Thank you.
Amy Schumer's album Cutting is available now on iTunes. Don't miss Amy November 5th at the Varsity Theater in Minneapolis. It's going to be a big show.
Well, there's a theater.
Big show.
You sell your own merchandise after the show?
Yes, it's the worst.
Is that the most embarrassing part of being a comedian
unbelievable.
nowadays?
It's like the red light district.
In other words, you get off the show.
You're up on the stage.
I mean, you're on the stage, you're the big star, and then you what? You walk to the back of the club.
Peddling my wares. It's so humiliating.
Can you get someone to maybe do that for you, or?
Yeah, but then,
what items do you have that you sell?
Oh, I just sell a CD.
Just a CD? No T-shirts?
CD, my hypercolor T-shirts, my
Your clothing
boxers.
line?
Yeah, no, I've got nothing else.
Do you have a booth? You set up a little booth?
They'll have like some table, and they'll just have my CDs there waiting for me.
And you'll sit there.
And I sign it, yeah.
And do you bring change and things with you so you can...
I'm the worst.
Yeah.
Like, when I did the last Comic Standing tour, I sold a CD that I would just burn on my computer, and I would sell it for $5. And sometimes I wouldn't have any more CDs, so I would sell, like, the cookies that they left in the green room. But no, I'm not good at marketing myself.
Is it worth how much extra money can you make a night? Is it worth the humiliation of sitting there and having to sell your own CD?
I can make an extra $700 a weekend,
Oh, wow.
and that's a lot. That's a lot of money for me.
That's big money.
But it really doesn't feel worth it. It is a horrifying, embarrassing thing.
Do you bring your own credit card machine? I mean, how does it work financially? Like, how do you like? Let's say someone buys.
I'm standing there.
If someone buys, I don't know how much a CD is. How much is $20?
Yeah.
And they say, "Look, I have 100. Can you break it?"
I'll say no. Can you go to the bar? Sometimes people be like, I have to go to an ATM, and then they leave their date there with me, and they're like, "So, where do you go next?" And I'm like, "I want to kill myself."
Now you've got to entertain this person.
It's because you've just expended so much energy. You put so much of yourself into it. The last thing you want to do when you leave is that, so right after the show, I have to be
also,
like tap dancing.
I would think, to build up your star quality, to see after you've killed on stage and you've done your thing, to be sitting there hawking your wares, so to speak.
It's not good.
Wouldn't it be good if the club could just provide someone for all the comics that would sell? I guess you can.
But then people feel like it's mean, and they want a picture, and they want to meet you. So it's like, okay, I'm let me do that. These people came out, they spent their weekend night with me. But I don't know. Sometimes it wouldn't be as hard if people didn't have all the backhanded compliments.
After my show, I stand in the Sirius lobby. I'm selling CDs too. Amy Schumer's album Cutting is available now on iTunes. And by the way, for all things Amy, go to amyschumer.com. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you
Amy.
so much.
That was fun.
Thank you so much.
I had a good time. I hope you
man,
did.
so did I. Thank you
Great
so
meeting
much.
you.
Amazing meeting you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
a lot of fun.
Thanks a lot.
You're so funny.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah.
I get the, I used to get the, hey man, your teeth aren't that big. And I'd be like, thanks.
Yeah, you're like, oh wow, that's so nice.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Amy, I knew the whole time you were
You
doing
knew I was
that
gonna
great
say that?
adventure story. I was only there twice. I was like, this is gonna be it.
But we were so excited. But I was just like, we were like, hey, what? Oh, we were excited, and we have the picture because we sat right behind you. So there's a picture of us with you in the screen
that's
machine.
hysterical.
Yeah, it was really
my
ridiculous.
Goodness. Well, you were great.
Thank
I love
you.
the roast
Thank
stuff.
you.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
Amy, well done today.
Yeah, was it good?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Usually, you can sort of gauge it, I think, by how long you're in the studio for.
Oh, do some people go in and out?
Yeah.
But that was good though.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh, good.
A nice slow roast. An hour.
An hour.
So really cooked in there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm glad that there was one caller that was mad because it was like, okay, good, so it's not all just fun and games. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you got the full Stern Show experience.
Yeah.
Now, why is coming here like the mecca for comedians? Because Howard's not a stand-up guy.
I think just because he's so honest, he doesn't blow any smoke. So, if he likes you, he really likes you. He doesn't need to pretend.
Right, so he's not shticky like some terrible comedian.
Yeah, he doesn't need anything from anybody. So it really comes just from a place of him enjoying what you do. So it's like the biggest compliment.
Cool, and I look forward to your next appearance, and hopefully we can talk more about Uncircumcised Frenchmen.
Yeah, let's get back to that.
Yeah, I wanted to know more.
Let's get back to the rape.
Casey's on the phone. You remember Casey? You used to work here.
Oh, Casey Armstrong?
Yeah, Casey Armstrong. You're doing very well.
Always love to hear from Casey.
Yes, Casey.
Howard.
Hey, man.
Hey, brother. How you doing, man?
What's happening?
Hey, listen to me. I got this thing on demand. They put it on, like, the Cablevision.
Yeah.
And, you guys had an episode where all you guys took your shirts off, and I have made critiques on each one.
Did we do that? When did we do that?
When was that?
It must have been older.
No, it wasn't. It was after I left. It was. It must have been like a year ago or something like that. I don't know.
I don't remember that.
Didn't you leave
Hey, Robin,
like
how are
10
you?
years
You're
ago?
very sexy.
After he left. Yeah, okay, go ahead real quick, because I got to get the news.
Okay, ready? All right, here you go. I'll do it quick. Howard, first of all, I'll start with positive, all right? You have a good back.
Right.
Your back is nice.
Thank you.
But you got cow nipples. You have huge nipples.
Me?
Yeah. Did
No,
you know
I
that?
don't. I have a nice chest.
Yeah, no, but your nipples are huge. They're like cow udders.
No, you got the wrong guy, man.
Well, dude, your nipples are big, and Sal has big nipples, too.
Really? Gee, I never thought of myself
I
as big.
didn't think
I
about
always
that.
see myself as a small nipple. Are you sure you were looking at me?
I'm positive.
Maybe my nipples don't photograph well.
They photograph big.
Yeah, because I kind of have small ones.
No, you have big nipples.
By the way, is Casey gay or what?
Yeah, what are you doing? Evaluating their bodies.
No guy ever looked at my nipples before.
And came away with that.
I might be a gay. I don't know. But, but I can tell you something. Fred is looking amazing.
Right.
No, he's jacked up. He's got he's got a great chest. He's got good arms.
Right.
Right. I mean, have you?
Wow.
He's like intimidating this guy.
This is so weird, this call, isn't it? This is a weird call, Casey, but go ahead.
No, it's a good call. He complimented me.
Well, yeah, okay, but still, it's weird.
But all right, I'm going through it. Richard, he actually has a good. He looks like a lumberjack. You know what I mean? But he has a huge gut.
No, he's super ripped
Yeah, he
now.
got thin.
He's thin and ripped.
No, he doesn't look that bad. Well, I guess it might have been a while ago.
Yeah, it
But
was.
Sal has a lot of fat deposits on the side of his chest.
Right.
And he has good vascularity in his shoulders.
Do you care, Robin?
This is ridiculous.
What the hell?
I gotta tell you, I'm as baffled as you.
Yeah, I'm freaked out, dude. Anybody else you want to talk about? Hey, man, how about the last time I saw you? You look bloated. So what's up with that?
Steroids?
Was it juice?
Yeah, man.
You still doing that?
You're still doing juice?
I'm 185 right now.
185 means you're big or small?
Dude, when you saw me, I was probably 230.
Oh, wow.
It's either that or AIDS. I'm not sure.
Anybody else? Any other guys you want to talk about, like Benji or anything?
Yeah,
Who else took their shirt off?
Strong.
What?
He looks cockstrong.
Benji?
Yeah,
What does
he looks
that mean?
cockstrong. But he's like Cabby. Remember, Cabby was he was big and he looked kind of intimidating, but it wasn't like he couldn't do nothing with it. Benji, he could do well, but he has small nipples.
Wow.
I'm out of my mind, Howard.
I think so.
What happened to you?
Case, would I be
I don't
better
know,
with bigger
brother.
nipples?
I was talking about Jason. I like the guy. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's great, but I'm worried about the guy.
Right.
I mean, I'm really. I mean,
How are his nipples?
cholesterol. I got high cholesterol. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
Are you okay?
No.
What's wrong?
Just had a little panic attack. All good.
You having a panic attack?
Yes.
What just happened?
I don't know. Hey, do you like Lamb of God?
What?
What?
Nice.
What?
I don't know. Hey.
What's going on, man?
Yikes.
You all right, man?
No.
What's going on?
What can we do?
Talk to me. Casey.
I'm on the Librium.
What are you on?
Librium.
Librium.
What is that?
It's a drug.
What does it do?
It's for the DTs.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, are you an alcoholic?
Oh, yeah, you know that.
I didn't realize it was that bad. So when you get withdrawals, you...
Where are you calling us from?
I'm from I'm watching my friend's dog.
You homeless?
No.
Oh.
And who put you on Librium?
the emergency room.
Wow.
God, this guy had the world by the balls.
How did you wind up in the you wound up in the emergency room so drunk?
Have you? No. It was days after. Have you ever seen Leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I normally don't like Nicolas Cage, but he's amazing.
Is that your life?
Yes.
Are you getting any help? Are you talking to anyone?
I'm talking to you.
No, but I mean, are you talking to any psychiatrists or anything?
Yeah. I've been to about 20 of them.
Yeah. What do they say your problem is? Your dad?
There's a whole bunch of terms that they give.
You got problems. You got a diagnosis?
What they say, what is it, borderline?
Borderline schizo? Or just borderline personality?
They say borderline.
Borderline personality.
And then bipolars.
Yeah.
And Benji is cockstrong.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Hey.
Jeez, Casey.
Casey, you ought to go on that drug Penisin.
That's like what is that?
Penisin?
Penisin?
Yeah.
Nice, I like it. Hey.
So they went to the hospital. You get hallucinating when you try to withdraw from alcohol. Did you stop drinking?
No.
So
you're drinking with the Librium.
I'm on the stuff and then I keep drinking.
Yeah. Wow. Dude.
What are you? I mean, thanks for calling.
Dude. Yeah, I gotta go. Dude. Anything you want to promote real quick?
No, not at all. I'm actually going to L.A. in 2 days.
What?
I'm going back to L.A. in 2 days.
Where are you now?
I'm in New York.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm back in New York.
Don't come in here.
You're not going to invite him down?
No. Dude. Hey, is Benji cockstrong? Case, is Benji cockstrong?
I think Benji is cockstrong. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah.
And you have big nipples.
I do miss Casey. He was fun when he worked here.
He was amazing and
but he just went crazy.
Very, very concerned.
Yeah. Sorry to hear all these problems, dude. You had the world by the balls. You know.
So
this is one of the best looking guys ever.
Did the doctors put you on the Librium here?
What? I'm very happy.
Did you fuck any more trannies?
You know, that hurts, Howard. And not
that's
really
the only thing?
that.
You're not?
Oh, jeez.
What is this coughing thing?
I don't know.
Do you still go to the gym even though you drink like a fish?
Yeah, I'm dude, I'm ripped.
Really?
Have you got
185.
Are you talking to your mother? Have you seen her?
Love her.
Good, okay.
Right.
And what does she say about all this?
Well, she does the best that she can, but I make my own decisions.
Sure, you're making some great decisions.
Hey, did I mention that Benji is cockstrong?
All right, hey, listen, Case.
It's good to hear from you.
Good hearing from you, my man. Wait a second, David Arquette wants to talk to you. Okay?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me make sure I don't lose you. Go ahead, David.
Hey.
Hey, now.
What's up? How are you, Casey?
Hi, David. How are you, sir?
I'm good, buddy.
By the way, everyone has to vote for David Arquette.
We voted for you last week.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Yeah, and is Courtney going to stay home this week?
No.
Yeah, your sister's hot, bro.
Hey, man, but I was just hearing you, and, sounds like you're going through a hard time.
I'm looking for a little bit of God's mercy.
Yeah, well, you're on the right track. I mean, you could do stuff to, get your stuff together. You just start facing some of the shit you're going through, really look at yourself. And there's ways of doing that, and there's places you could go to get some help.
Have you gone anywhere to get help, Casey?
Too many, yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to go again.
Do you understand that they put me on this shit like 20 years ago, right? It was it was new, and now they don't know how to get people off it.
Casey, what do you do you primarily drink, or are you into coke and all that shit?
No, I have narcolepsy. You know what that is?
Yeah.
So they gave me Ritalin 20 years ago.
All right.
And
that's speed. You know, speed induces psychosis.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, it might be what's happening now, but see, what happens is every time I go to rehab, they say you have to go cold turkey, and I won't do it because it's a horror and it's terrible. When I go to jail, that's what they do. It's the worst ever. I can't explain it.
How many times have you been in jail?
4 times.
4? And they make you go cold turkey, and what, you can't handle it?
Oh, dude, you have no idea. I can't explain to you how horrible it is.
So, but why do you go back on it once you go cold turkey and get through the horror of it?
But you can't because, look, I've been on it for 20 years, and the amount that I take, I should be dead.
How much Ritalin do you take a day?
It was 300 milligrams, now it's 200, and the overdose is 80, I believe.
Wow. Hey, David.
Yeah.
He's hardcore, huh?
Yeah, but, you know, a lot of that stuff is that people, like, medicate so much to, you know, I mean, some of that is necessary when you have certain conditions. But like,
David, what were you doing? David,
maybe you go on like, get involved with his thing. As crazy as some people might think, he does have results with people that really want it. And
what, Dr. Drew?
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff is also not facing, like, not coming to terms with who you are and just getting real with yourself and answering some of the hard questions, forgiving yourself for some of the shit that you've done, sort of like starting over, you know, dealing with the past, cleaning up the past, and then going ahead. And
were you as bad as him, David?
I have different problems. I mean, everyone's got their own issues. But
you were primarily drinking, right?
Come on.
You were primarily drinking, right?
Primarily drinking, but, you know, when I was younger, I had drug problems, and when I, you know, had this last thing, I did ecstasy a couple times and mushrooms and shit like that.
Are you in any condition to really be giving KC advice? I mean, you're sober and everything?
Oh, yeah, I'm almost 10 months sober.
Okay. What do you think of that,
and
Casey?
For me, it's like a real, like...
No, I was sober.
What?
I was sober, and I hated it. It was worse than this.
What are you talking about?
He wants to be a drunk.
He never was sober. When were you sober?
I went to rehab. Don't you remember? I went there. I was sober for 4 months.
And you hated it?
I hated it. It was the worst possible thing ever.
Oh, my.
Did you do anything to, like, you know, try to, like, face... See, part of it's, like, you get all these feelings back, and it becomes really difficult. And then you have to, like, get some sort of tools to be able to deal with those feelings.
You hear what he's saying? Hey, Casey, how much are you drinking a day?
Dude, you know what I want to do? I'm like a bottom, like at one point.
You're a bottom? I knew it.
Always suspected.
You know, Howard, with the gay stuff. For 1 minute, we're talking serious now.
Okay.
Yes, all right. We are joking.
Just tell me, how much are you drinking a day?
About 20 to 30 shots.
A day?
Yep.
20 to 30 shots a day. David, did you drink that much?
Not really, no.
Wow. Casey's hardcore, huh?
Yeah.
And you'll never see me drunk, ever.
Congratulations. I mean, 20, 30 shots a day, and they never see you drunk.
You will never see you drunk. We see you drunk.
You're one of the greatest alcoholics of all time.
Rukowski said everything shits and then it dies. So what do you think of that?
I think you're fucked. I think you got to get into some rehab, dude. That's what David's giving you good advice.
And when you don't just get sober, as David says, you have to start working on all the things that make you want to get drunk.
Yeah, that's the thing. You do a lot of this stuff to numb yourself. I mean, there's certain stuff within your chemical balance that, you know, they probably could figure out a better, you know, system for you. I don't take anything personally, and when I went into rehab, I refused any kind of, like, the stuff that they give you there to kind of wean you off and all that stuff, but
bro, they won't, though. That's my problem, because...
Well, you probably would need some kind of program to, like, you know, put little... medications together to just keep you stable. And
you know what's crazy? KC has such discipline with his eating and with his gym and with all that.
But it doesn't matter.
And then you'd even think, with all that vanity and working out and stuff, he would, like, lay off the sauce.
No, I'll go to the gym hammered.
Wow.
It doesn't matter. But here's the problem, David. You probably know what I'm talking about. What they're going to do every time I go to the rehab. I've been there a bunch of times, and I usually end up telling them to go fuck themselves because what they say is you have to go cold turkey. They don't wean you off. They have nothing to give you. So there's no way out.
Oh, dude, you could do it. You're a strong young guy. You could get off it.
Howard, I can't explain to you.
All right, so it's uncomfortable. You just do it.
It's not uncomfortable. It's dementia. What happens is you think that you're gonna die and that nobody can.
But how long does that last? A couple of days?
No, it lasts until you start taking the shit again.
Oh.
It depends on the rehab you're going to. That's why I think like Dr. Drew's got a solid like group of doctors and things going on. Like they know how to address that if you have any mental issues that you need sort of mood stabilizing stuff. But some of the other stuff that you're probably overdoing is probably making you.
Did I just hear a clown horn?
I was going to say, that's perfect, David, while you're giving advice.
Well, David, that's David's technique. He entertains you.
I've seen him, and it looks like he knows what he's talking about. But
he knows.
That even if I went to him, they would say, look, you stop this cold turkey. This is what it says in the book, because they have no idea what the fuck to do with it because it's so new. They have no idea what this shit does to you.
Yeah. All right, look, we're not going to get this solved now. Casey, get yourself to fucking rehab. Go to Dr. Drew or somebody.
Yeah, don't go back to L.A.
Yeah.
Go to rehab.
Just start getting honest with yourself. And then, try to, like, just move in a better place.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know what? The only thing that this has given me is making me become an amazing actor.
Nice.
All right. Listen, Casey, I got to go. Hey, David, I got to go. I got to go do the news.
Guys.
All right, later.
We will be watching you tonight on Dancing with the Stars.
Thank you. All the best, Casey.
Am I going to see you tomorrow or something?
I'm coming in next week. So
next week, okay.
I'm coming into town. So.
All right, good. I'll see you next week, David. Casey, take care of yourself, will you, pal? Really, get off that shit. You got the discipline to do it. It's enough already.
I'm going to L.A. and
it's unattractive.
I'm going to pose nude, and my mom is coming, and she's going to put her hand over my private parts, like Amy.
All right. Listen, go get some help. I mean it. Stop the nonsense. You can get off that shit. You know, you're going to get big tits like me if you don't calm down.
No, just nipples. Your chest is good. It's the nipples.
All right, Case. Thank you.
Did I mention Veggie's Armstrong?
And thanks to David Arquette for calling in and trying to help KC. Goodbye.
Guys,
bye. Very depressing.
God damn it.
What, Casey?
That was...
It was bad?
What?
Hello? Oh, he's gone.
Now he's going to beat himself up for a bad appearance.
It was a great appearance, but I'm worried about the guy. I like him. Yeah, Ralphie, go ahead.
Hey, now.
Hey, now.
That really was the most bizarre call from Casey. You're talking about a bit you did 2 years ago?
I know.
Current. But, I just think it's funny when you guys always talk about Casey, you, Robin, and everybody. It's like, oh, my God, what a shame, what a shame. And it's just because he's good-looking. I mean, if he wasn't good-looking, nobody would really care. And
yeah, in a way, you're right.
You're absolutely right. If he was a mess, we'd expect this to happen.
Expect that. It's like, wow, he's good-looking.
The weird thing with KC is the guy works out so intensely, and not only that, he looks like a supermodel. And it's like, wow, how could a guy that disciplined and that into his look be into that drinking and everything?
You're thinking of Casey, when he used to work there. I don't think he,
he's been that guy.
Yeah, I think he's got some miles on him now.
Oh yeah, he's not looking that good.
Well, you said like when you saw him last time, he's bloated. He
was a little scary. Yeah.
Yeah. He's frightening.
I hope he pulls it together. Good looking or not. I mean, I did like the guy. The guy worked with me so many years. He's a good dude.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It doesn't seem he's been trying to pull it together for a while. I don't think that's going to happen.
And Ralph, can you defend my nipples? I don't think they're overly big.
No, that was kind of strange. No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I just had to start laughing in the middle because I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I know. It was weird.
Hey, I want to talk about your body.
We weren't looking for any feedback. All right, thank you.
Benji is cockstrong.
What's that, Casey?
Benji is cockstrong.
Right.
Way to get that drop right away.
Right.
You have big nipples.
What do you think of Ralph, Casey?
He didn't say anything about Ralph.
Well, you could have just said he has big nipples.
Yeah,
you have big nipples.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Actually, people have said that about me, so.
All right. Thank you, Ralph.
Goodbye.
Ralph actually does have big nipples.
He does?
You have big nipples.
You're right, Casey.
Robin, like Howard, you saw Casey go from, I guess, sort of like an intern
to an employee, yeah.
Right, and a full-time one at that.
Yeah.
How much does it bum you out when he checks in?
It makes me very sad because one of the reasons Casey is not with us is because his behavior had become so erratic. He couldn't work here anymore. And, you know, we hoped that the fact that he couldn't be on the show would be a wake-up call and he'd pull himself together. And obviously that hasn't happened.
Seems safe to say that Casey spiraled out of control. Not only since leaving the Stern Show, but it seems like the last couple of years. How do you decipher what's real and what's shtick and what's looking for a plug and all that?
I don't know. I mean, he wasn't really plugging anything today, and I thought he sounded pretty legitimate. You know, Casey's got a little sense of theater too, so sometimes he fucks with us. He could be a little messed up, but he likes to fuck with us too because he gets he understands the concept of the entertainment. But today, he wasn't really plugging anything, and I was a little worried about him today, I have to say.
Equally as important, does Howard have oversized nipples?
I never looked at Howard's nipples, and I'm never going to look at him again. I'll go home and look at my private parts poster, see what I can ascertain. Richard comes to me and tells me, "Oh, did you get snow on Saturday?" I'm like, "Yeah." So him and Kristen went up way upstate New York to go get their makeup done for a party they were doing in the city. Like, they literally traveled far. They get up there, they get dropped over the train. It's snowing like crazy, right? No trains are coming. So they're calling this, they're calling that. So he's the idiot that calls 911. Oh my! I said, "Why didn't you call the local I go, "What town are we in?" He goes, "Mayapack." I go, "Why didn't you call the Mayapack police?" He goes, "I don't know. We don't."
They called 911. You're lucky they didn't get arrested.
No.
Why did they call 911? I don't
Because
understand.
they were at the train station. It was snowing really hard, and no trains were coming. They called every cab company. They called the MTA. Unbeknownst to them, MTA had been shut down. They didn't know that.
1 minute.
So they were stuck, and they couldn't get home. So I said to him, "Why didn't you call the local police?" And he goes, "I didn't think of that." So I don't know what happened when he called 911, but the other funny thing is, this is so they could do this. That's the funniest part. That's so they traveled like an hour upstate to do that, to come back into the city to go to a party or something. He said they stayed in Sleepy Hollow.
Well, your point is, these are the idiots who stay on the beach in a hurricane. Like, you see it snowing.
Well, no, he got up there, and then it started to snow. I'm not saying that. I'm saying...
But he knew the bad weather was coming.
No, but what I am saying is, 911 is for emergencies, not because the train
Not because you went trick-or-treating.
Not because the train didn't come.
Trying to get your werewolf man.
Excuse me now, I can't get a lift to the Halloween party.
I need my makeup.
Robin, anything else in the news?
Halloween is tonight, and it's a fun holiday for kids, but parents need to remember a few tips to keep their kids safe. Janet Brooks with Safe Kids Utah urges safety on the streets, asking drivers to be especially mindful of trick-or-treaters crossing the road.
I can't believe anybody lets their kids trick-or-treat anymore. It's so fucking dangerous.
Yeah, do those masks still work so poorly that you really can't see anything when you're out there?
You have no peripheral vision. It's awful.
Really, you are sort of like a sitting duck on the road.
Yeah.
Other tips for parents to follow are to make sure costumes are flame resistant, fit properly to prevent tripping, and to use reflective tape on both the outfits and treat bags so kids can be seen. Parents should also check over all treats for any signs of tampering before letting their kids eat them.
A flame-resistant costume. Most people don't go to the store and buy, They just like dress up in like some clothes, and then you go to some asshole's house, you got a bunch of pumpkins with candles in them, and your kid's on fire. Stay home. There's a million things that are going to go wrong. It's inevitable.
A lot of people have gone to parties because you can't trust to have your kids out there on the road.
I like flame-resistant costume. Make sure your child's in a flame-resistant. I'll put him in an asbestos outfit. Hey, what are you doing already with this Halloween? It's enough.
I know. When you've got to take all those precautions, isn't it a sign that maybe we shouldn't be doing this?
And Richard's so fucking retarded that, I went into his office to take some photographs of him the other day, and he's got, pumpkin candles burning and pumpkin shit hanging up in the office.
Right, he's the very one who's going to light a kid on fire.
Yeah. Less pumpkins and more work back there.
By the way, he said he was going to get a pumpkin scrub this weekend. You know, he even does the whole spa thing.
That's nothing. He
with pumpkins.
So Richard, I guess, goes to a party every year, so he gets professional makeup done. But, of course, he lives in New York, and there's no one who can do his professional makeup. He has to go to, like, fucking Poughkeepsie or something. I don't know, or somewhere upstate New York.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then so it was snowing. You know, they were calling for snow on Saturday.
Right.
So him and his wife get on the train, and they go all the way upstate to get that stupid makeup that they get.
Uh-huh.
And then he gets caught. None of the trains are running because it's snowing so bad.
So he's stuck.
He's stuck. He called 911.
Stop it.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. He called 911 for a ride or something, or he didn't know what to do.
Oh, my goodness. He's as bad as that guy I just played.
Yeah, but he's like those retards who go, like people who stay in Miami Beach on the ocean, and they say you have to evacuate, and then they stay, and then you have to go rescue them. He knows it's going to snow.
There's no reason to rescue him from Poughkeepsie. Find a hotel room.
Of course. Richard, where did you go to get your makeup? Like, this is, by the way, he's 40-something years old. This was what all the fuss was about, so he could look like this.
That isn't even that good.
I mean, the makeup's not even that great. I mean, it's fine.
It's okay, but who cares? You could get that done. You could do it yourself.
Hey, that's the most important. It's the most important day of the year for me.
Where did you go to get the makeup?
Mayo Pack. It's like in Westchester.
And you what? The snow came down so heavily you couldn't get a train.
Yeah,
you called 911.
Well, we got dropped off at the train station in full makeup. We looked crazy.
Yeah,
and. We waited for about 2 hours for the Metro North, and then there was a big announcement, all train service suspended. And we thought it was going to be like the Donner Party, like we were going to have to start eating each other, because we didn't know how to get out of there.
Dude, you're in Mayo Pack. It's not you know, like
there are
some
cabs,
remote...
there are all kinds of things.
We called every cab.
It was snowing too heavy.
Yeah, it was snow. They wouldn't even go, leave to give us a ride to a hotel.
So what did 911 do?
They were going to send an MTA truck to pick us up.
And what happened?
Well, we finally got a hold of the makeup guy, and luckily his brother, thank God, had a four-wheel drive truck and was able to give us a ride to White Plains to catch the only train.
Believe this guy? For this stupid makeup.
How much do you pay for that?
And who are you supposed to be with that makeup? Who
the
is
Wolfman.
That? Oh, that's Wolfman?
Yeah.
Is that who you are?
And who's your wife, Little Red Riding Hood?
Yeah, she's like the victim, Little Red Riding Hood, after she was attacked.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Glad you told me.
It took us like 6 hours to get from there back to our home. We were exhausted.
How long does the makeup take?
A couple hours to do.
And what do you do with the makeup?
Now you're all dressed up. Where do you go?
Yeah.
Well, we went to a costume party, but we were so exhausted from our ordeal that we only stayed for a little bit.
That's what I figured.
Like after all that, we were just too burned out.
Halloween got ruined.
There's nobody in New York who does makeup.
It's hard. It's hard to find people.
No, in Manhattan, no one does that.
Not this good. This is my buddy. He does this for movies.
Dude, Manhattan has got the greatest makeup artist in the world. I got to believe someone in Manhattan can do that.
Well, this guy today, he's doing Good Morning America's makeup.
Oh, yeah?
He's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, but I bet you they didn't go to see him in Mayo Pack.
What do you pay him for that?
I gave him like $140.
That's it?
Oh my God.
That's the cash I had on me, but I'm going to send him some more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to send him the werewolf hands back, too. He loaned those to me.
Real good.
Yeah. He's awesome, though. He did a vampire movie called Stakeland that you guys should see. It's
I'll run
awesome.
that out. Okay.
Richard.
Yes?
Come on, man. You don't think you overreacted a little bit?
Well, we were worried. It was just us and 3 Mexican migrant workers at the station, and they didn't even speak English, so we didn't know what to do. We couldn't go anywhere.
Did you give them a ride to White Plains as well?
No.
Real
we
nice
didn't, because my friend came in a truck, and it's like it'd be too dangerous for them to ride in the back of the truck, so I think
You don't think a couple of migrant workers...
They were on the
been in
phone
back of
with
the truck
friends of
before?
theirs speaking Spanish, so I'm assuming they got a ride.
But really, you know that 911 is for actual emergencies. This doesn't constitute an emergency.
Well, we tried to call Metro North, and the line, nobody would answer. And somebody told us before they left the station, they said call 911. Or the cab company said call 911, and they'll send MTA out to get you guys. So we would have called MTA directly, but they wouldn't answer. So
All in the name of Halloween. So now that it's all over with, Halloween is today. Do you feel like you just missed out on a golden opportunity? You had this great makeup, you had a costume party to go to, but you were too burnt out by the time you...
Well, we still got to go at least. We could have been, had our own little two-person costume party at the train station that night and froze to death. So I'm glad we at least made the costume party.
But as far as your Halloween dreams go, I feel that they were sort of shattered.
Yeah, Mother Nature can be a real bitch sometimes, and I'm very angry that she fucked up Halloween a little bit. And
fuck that. You don't both got to worry about this.
Mother Nature, that bitch.
She is. She's a fickle bitch.
She could have had it snow on November 1st, and it would have been totally fine, but to do it before Halloween is unforgivable.
Kind of like waking up on Christmas morning and realizing you didn't get the toy you wanted.
Yeah, or like this fucking Mother Nature, she always pisses me off. Last year, she fucked me over too, because she made a blizzard the day after Christmas. Not on Christmas. We couldn't have a white Christmas. She had it the day after. That's like saying to me, fuck you and your white Christmas. I'm going to make it white on December 26th.
What a biznatch.
She is a total... I love global warming. Fuck her. Fuck Mother Nature.
Great cans.
I'm going to go use a bunch of hairspray right now just to piss her off.
Hell of a body, though.
Yeah. I'm going to throw all my plastic in the garbage, not recycle. Fuck Al Gore. Fuck Mother Nature. Halloween rules.
How about throwing some of them soda rings into the ocean, too?
Exactly.
Catch a couple fish.
Get some dolphins' noses bound up by those fucking goddamn soda rings.
I'm going to start eating tuna that isn't dolphin-friendly.
Fuck yeah, I'm going to burn some rubber tires out in my yard, Fuck Mother Nature, that bitch.
I'll learn that, broad.
I'll teach you, bitch.
I'll learn her well. I mean, good.
Teach you not to make it snow on my favorite fucking holiday, you fucking biatch.
You said it, sir. I think we all learned something from your ordeal today.
I think we learned that I'm an idiot.
And I am as well. Happy Halloween, sir.
Happy Halloween.
Jackie the Joke Man Martling was on Superfan Roundtable. Wow. I heard his interview. Mutt did a great interview with Jackie, and Jackie was just, again, talking about his contract negotiation and why he isn't with the show. And
this is hysterical.
I mean, look, they were asking him about it.
Yeah, but I mean...
But it's all it's so misguided.
Why would you even continue to talk about it?
See, if I play it, you're going to get all worked up, as I did when I heard it, but... Because you're going to start arguing with a piece of tape.
Well, work me up.
All right.
I love Jackie logic.
All right, but okay. I'll stop it when I need to correct something.
All right.
Or at least give my interpretation. You want to get worked up?
I know it's going to happen. I always think that I'm over it. But he'll get to me, I'm sure.
But you know what the funny thing is? We are over it. I don't spend any time in the day going,
thinking about it.
Jackie was back here, but you know what? It actually made me sad when I heard this because he's his own worst enemy. Because he still, to this day, doesn't understand what he did.
Thank God.
To his own career.
And thank God we don't take him back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because this would go on again.
It would. Robin... It's been 10 or 15 years.
He hasn't learned a thing. It's so clear to me.
That's the beauty of Jackie.
He hasn't. I don't know if he's in therapy. I don't know what he does, but he has not figured it out. And that's my point. People don't change.
Well, some people do, but not Jackie.
Okay, fair enough. Here we go.
Well, Howard would say that you just didn't show up one day and left him hanging, and then you didn't have you.
By the way, just so Mutt knows, I would never say that.
There for months.
But every time that I was out negotiating.
Out negotiating.
You know, I said to Gary when I heard this, I called him up. I said, how is it that me, Robin, Fred, you, how is it we managed?
We all had to negotiate.
We all had to negotiate, whether it was with Mel directly or, through Don or
Tom, or whatever.
But how is it we all ended up never missing a day of work, even with our negotiations, quote unquote? Jackie always had to leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes for weeks. And to me, it always felt like, hey, I can walk away, you guys carry on, and when I'm done negotiating, just how did we all manage to get a contract without walking out the door?
But by the same token, it wasn't that he left us hanging.
Yeah.
It was that we didn't know he wasn't showing up.
Mutt said we'd get all worked up again when we heard this. He knows. He listens.
They did the same thing. And I've said this on the air so many millions of times,
Well,
but
listen.
nobody wants to hear it. I didn't do that. I would never have done that. For all anybody can break my balls, I'm a professional guy. We were trying to negotiate. Then my lawyer didn't hear back from Tom for 2 months. So we had a meeting with Tom, and we went in, and my lawyer said, listen.
First of all, they didn't hear back from Tom for 2 months because I was very aware of what was going on. He said, Jackie and your lawyer, this is the final offer. And it was a very, very healthy offer. More than I think most guys in radio would drop dead if they saw this offer. And they said, Jackie, this is it. Either you take it or leave it. We can't keep going on. Or we have to move forward and find somebody new.
Now, I don't understand. Is he still working or is he not working?
He's not working.
Okay.
He's negotiating. So they told him that, and Jackie and his lawyer kind of laughed it off like, ha, 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 sure.
Okay, and did
2
they
months
make
later,
some counteroffer?
No. 2 months later, 2 months later, it was over. In other words, Jackie was like, okay, I'll come back. And it was like, no, you don't understand. We meant it.
Oh, he took 2 months to think about it.
Yeah, 2 months.
It's over.
We're totally at loggerheads. You guys aren't coming back at us. We're not going back. So this was on a Wednesday. He said, so Jackie's not going to come in on Monday. And Tom said, I think you're making a mistake. And Larry said, I think you're making a mistake.
Yep, who was
He said,
right?
all right, but he's not going to be there Monday. And I said, Tom.
Where's Larry now?
Now you make sure you tell Howard, make sure everybody knows.
But Howard says you didn't call him.
No, by the way, if I did say that, I don't care about
No.
Jackie calling me.
This is all getting confused.
Yeah.
Jackie did this every year for a number of years and never told us he was not coming in.
Right.
This last time, maybe he had a lawyer who called.
Right.
That's what he's upset about. That
By the way, I'm not upset about it. I'm not upset about any of this. Jackie leaving has been absolutely fine. I'm much happier now. I couldn't take the constant problems and the constant out back in the back office getting everyone charged up.
And
It's
all
fine.
of a sudden, he's professional.
Right. Oh, he's the most professional.
You missed that one phone call.
What?
You told Tom, but you didn't tell Howard.
This is they got you coming and they got you going. Howard he said over and over and over, I want nothing to do with negotiations.
That's
I don't
true.
want to know money. I don't want to know negotiations. It's all up to everybody to do their own deal. Leave me out of it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I should call him and say, hey, not for like.
Meanwhile, every deal he did, he called me. And I had to step in and carry on. And he always tried to get me to agent for him. He's full of shit.
Would it be
as much as I wanted not to be involved with Jackie?
He always involved you.
He sucked me in every time.
Not a threatening phone call or a heads up. Tom said, Tom,
Jackie won't admit one thing. He left the show thinking Howard's going to fucking crumble without me. I
Right,
said to
and
him,
he was waiting for 2 months for you to call and
beg
ask him to come back.
Right. And it was never going to happen. Jackie was an asset to the show. I had assessed the situation.
Well, he was an acid to the show?
An asset.
Asshole to the show?
No, he was an asset to the show, but at some point it became detrimental to the show. And that's it. He over-evaluated. He overvalued himself. That's all. He was valuable, but not irreplaceable. That's the problem with Jackie.
Howard will absolutely know you're not going to be there. And then, they said that all of a sudden Howard says, "Where's Jackie today?" And Robin said, "Oh, he left you high and dry again." Yeah, you know how he is. He just,
well, when Fred...
They made it sound like I just didn't show up, and I would never do that much, and I didn't do it the time before, and I didn't do it the time. And there's still millions of fans that are angry at me for leaving Howard high and dry, which I didn't do. And
it's okay.
Of
That's
course I
the way
thought about
they tell it. When even just recently, about a year ago, Robin and
but how
Fred,
do you see it?
Robin and Fred get real emotional about it. Like, you fucked over the show. You left the show. You guys were a team. They take it personally, it seems like.
But how can they? I asked for more money and they said no.
I don't take it personally.
You're working at a business and you ask for a raise and they say no and you stop working there. It's not because you don't.
Explain that.
I don't take it personally.
Nobody does. It's just amazing to us that he's the only one that could leave for months at a time with
and
his
then come
negotiations.
back. Why come back?
Right. We were resentful that we had to sit there and hold ship. Don't forget, I have a way of operating. The budget that Jackie took up, I needed to spend it on someone else. At some point, I had to say, enough with this guy.
But remember the time he didn't show up, and then we were starting to get used to not work, and then all of a sudden he did show up?
Yeah.
It was like, well, what are you doing here now?
Yeah, now he's here.
You want us now?
I was never ungrateful. I didn't ask for more. You know the whole story.
Sure.
I didn't ask for a crazy amount of money. And then after a couple months, I said, you know what? I don't want this to break up. I'll take what the offer was. And they said, and it was too late.
2 months later. And 2 months of him finally realizing he wasn't getting more money. He got a huge offer, huge raise offer, which he doesn't think is huge, but go ask any guy on radio. By the way, has Jackie made anywhere near that kind of money since he left? No. I would love to compare his last year with us and all the years subsequent to that. Or whatever. All the years after that.
Subsequent would be.
Was that right? Yeah. Didn't sound right to me. Anyway, so I don't know. You want to hear more?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me go through the whole thing.
All right. Here we go.
And that's my fault, but that was only 2 months after I left. So
only 2 months.
Yeah, only 2 months.
What's 2 months?
He could have very easily, and now I'll get in trouble for this, but kept the Beatles together, But
the Beatles are together, dude.
And all, at the time I was beaten, I was tired, and I feel bad that I wound up off the show, but it was like, I rolled the dice. What the fuck? I rolled the dice, but all I did was ask for more money. They said no, and I left. That is not a crime.
No one thinks it is.
The coming back was the crime.
Yeah. Leave us alone. Stop using us. Go write for someone else if you can.
Right.
You talk about hurt. When I called Howard and Tom, and my lawyer called Tom.
His lawyer. That lawyer was the greatest. Lawyer was like, we're going to teach Mel Karmazin how to negotiate. And he was like, what? What are you doing?
Are they still teaching him, or is the lesson finished?
So which Beatle exactly was Jackie supposed to be? Because to me, he's feeling like Pete Best right now.
Yeah.
I think he thought he was...
or the guy who died.
Yeah, I think he thought he was Paul McCartney.
2 months when I had been off, and said, listen, we'll take the offer that's on the table. I said, all right, we'll consider it.
Maybe he should have looked at it not as the Beatles, where everyone was sort of equal. Maybe he should have looked at it more like...
Well, he was like...
Saturday Night Live, where a bunch of people write.
What was one of those guys who joined the Rolling Stone and then would leave the Rolling Stones?
Yeah.
Because the Rolling Stones were the Rolling Stones, and then every once in a while they'd hire some guy.
Right. Yeah, like when you're saying when Brian Jones died in the pool.
Yeah.
They brought in a different guy.
Yeah, Mick Taylor.
Yeah, Mick Taylor. And then Mick Taylor left, and...
They brought in Ron Wood.
Right.
Get back to you. I really thought they'd at least call back and say, thanks, but no thanks. And
how many? They called 900 times. It was over.
No, they had a period of negotiation. The period ended. Jackie left, and that was that.
Yeah, how long can it go on? How long can you negotiate? What is this? What is he, a labor union?
They never called
You're
back.
waiting for the call still?
Which is kind of rude. You know, I mean, maybe I didn't deserve it, but, who knows?
Oh, my. There were 20 million calls exchanged, and then finally it was just, all
and
right.
that you didn't listen when they said this is it. It's not their fault.
It's real simple. Tom came to me and said, I've told Jackie that's it. He goes, do you agree? I go, absolutely. He told me the offer. I said, it sounds fantastic. It sounds like you're being very generous. You're certainly not cheaping out on the guy. I think he thinks he's me. And, I'm the star of the show. He's a writer on the show. And that's it. And Tom said to me, this is the final offer. We're not prepared to offer him anymore. If you want to pay him, go ahead. I go, no, this is more than enough. He's making a ton of dough. And that's it. We can't negotiate. We're going to go start looking for someone else.
And nobody wanted to go through this again.
No, that was the point. But he doesn't get it. He still thinks no one called him back. They told him final offer, but he was used to like, oh, they've said that before.
Right.
When I first started the show, Howard said, hey, I got great news for you.
Oh, this is great.
Oh, boy. Here we go. What is he going to say now?
This is totally
This is a new
wrong.
wrinkle.
This is Jackie talking about how we are all represented by Don Buchwald, but he wasn't.
Truck to tail.
Right. I'll give you the truth about what really went down, but here's Jackie's version. Hey, Gary.
I want to back you up on this one because this one made me really.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This got you upset.
Yeah, this got me nuts.
And it's got nothing to do with me. I just happened to be there for a conversation Howard had.
When I first started the show, Howard said, hey, I got great news for you. Don's going to represent you if you want him.
I never said to him, I've got great news for you. Here's the truth. Then you can listen to this. Jackie was being represented by his wife. Things were going horribly. Mel wanted nothing to do with Jackie. He said to me, I don't want anything to do with this guy and his wife.
He was supposed to talk to his wife?
That's how bad things were.
Uh-huh. And he was talking to his wife.
I don't know who he was talking to, but I don't know. Things were just going wrong, and the company was getting rubbed the wrong way by Jackie.
Uh-huh.
Even when people want more money, I guess there's a certain way of doing things. I suggested to Jackie maybe not use his wife as an agent. And he said, no, my wife's not my agent, my manager. I said, look, you got to get somebody. If you would like, I'll call Don Buchwald. If you'd like that. I never said, hey, good news.
Right.
No, I didn't care who represented Jackie. As long as he got somebody
who wouldn't screw up things for him.
Who wouldn't make management go, we want this guy out. Like, they were like, listen.
Because there was a general attitude from that negotiation on.
They didn't
that
like
nobody
Jackie.
wanted Jackie around.
Yeah. And I'm not even blaming his wife, Nancy, because you know what? Now that I think about it.
Wait.
No, by the way, I don't think she was talking to Mel.
She wasn't. She wasn't.
What was happening was, if I remember correctly, and I forget how it happened, but maybe Jackie and Mel were dealing directly with each other.
Uh-huh.
But Mel was kind of like, and Tom and everyone, not just Mel, everyone. Just came to me privately and said, look, we don't like this guy.
Right.
We think he's bad news. I said, he's a nice guy. They go, for whatever reason, he's coming off horribly, just as a human being. I said, okay. So I went to Jackie. I said, maybe it shouldn't be you doing things.
Right.
Maybe you should get somebody. I said, if you want, I'll call Don Buchwald. I need to. Good news, Jackie. By the way, Don was not looking to represent Jackie. Don's business is done just fine without Jackie. There's not a whole lot of money in the Jackie business for Don.
There really is, by the way, in any negotiation, when the person goes in to represent themselves, it just never works because you need somebody to be a buffer.
Right.
Because you can't say, well, when you say, listen, this is what I'm worth, people look at you a different way. So you just suggested to Jackie, in general, maybe it's not the best idea you represent yourself.
That's what it was. It wasn't his wife.
Well, she was representing him in the comedy circuit.
Right, which was fine. And I didn't care, but I just said to him, maybe you need to get advice from a professional.
But I know you said, get anybody if you'd like, because I was there. If you'd like, I would introduce you to Don.
You were there in the room.
And
introduce is not, I can get Don to represent you.
No, but Jackie's saying that Howard said, good news, Don's going to represent you, as if you were pushing it. Yeah. And Jackie always had this
conspiracy
theory of collusion.
Here you go. Listen to this.
And I said no, because it didn't make sense to me that if they're going to pay Howard, and then they're going to pay Robin, and they're going to pay Fred. So I'm going to be the fourth bird in line for a worm. It seems like, how could you,
Yeah, but see, that
it didn't seem comfortable.
The way you did it, I look at you as fourth bird in the line. Whereas if you'd have been with Team Don, it would have been Howard and then the three of you. Like, I always wondered why you weren't just part of that, so you didn't have to do your own negotiating. Were you worried he wouldn't take care of you the way you could yourself?
It just didn't. It seemed weird. He'd be negotiating with himself. Don, it just didn't. My cousin.
How would Don be negotiating by?
You know what I love?
I know why.
I know. Wait a minute. The first statement is, I didn't think.
Yeah.
Now, all of his thoughts have led to this.
Yeah. All of his thoughts led to ultimately him being out of work.
And he's still standing by them.
Yeah, he loves it. He doesn't do any self-examination.
I know the answer,
almost a pro ball player, and he said that an agent in baseball can't represent more than one player on a team.
Have you ever heard of that before? That's bullshit.
No.
There are agents who represent many.
There's some agents who have almost the entire league locked up.
Scott Boras has everybody.
Baseball, an agent can't represent more than Well, first of all, this isn't baseball. Baseball is like a monopoly. This is the real world.
Jackie's taking advice from a guy who almost got into baseball.
Yeah, right. My cousin. Did you hear what he said?
It was his cousin who told him this?
Wait, you got to hear this. My cousin. He's always getting advice from someone. My cousin almost got into baseball.
He's like.
He said. Yeah,
he's like Richard's dad.
You can't say, hey, you can have mud on shortstop. More than one agent. Also pro. Don, it just didn't. My cousin was almost a pro ball player, and he
almost.
Never got there.
Look where he gets advice.
But he knows.
He gets advice from his cousin, from his uncle, never from a professional.
Yeah, none of these people have been in show business.
And by the way, his cousin's wrong. Maybe that's why he almost got into baseball.
He said that an agent in baseball can't represent more than one agent.
Maybe you should have called the baseball player and found out if that was true.
More than one player on a team. Because you can't say, hey, you can have mud on shortstop, but you got to take Jackie on first base. It's like...
Okay, give Howard the money we need, but you could take it out of Jackie's pocket.
Exactly. Exactly.
Jackie's got a pocket.
Jackie has no pocket.
What I was going to say is that part of the conspiracy theory, which I'd heard several times, when we get drunk and I'd be Jackie'd be sitting there and John would be sitting there and I'd be sitting there, was that somehow I got to remember this correctly. I want to get it right. That somehow a big pot of money was given to Don to distribute any way he wanted to everybody. So that if he were part of Team Don, you were going to get the biggest part of the pot, and then everybody else was going to get a little bit less.
And he'd be the fourth to dip into
so
the pot.
Let's say that's true. Which it's not, because Don would go in and negotiate. But forget that. I don't care who represents him. What do I give a shit? Just get someone professional.
It doesn't mean anything to you. You're not getting any money out of the deal.
No. So I was like, Jackie, just get someone other than yourself. I remember he used to walk in by himself and rub everyone the wrong way.
And he didn't realize that he had done that.
Right. An agent has a certain finesse where he's not going to sit there and, Jackie could have played the good guy while the agent was the bad guy.
Well, the problem was Jackie never got the right representation anyway.
Oh, here's a guy who says enough talking about Jackie. We've heard it. Okay. Maybe he's right. I love listening.
It means a lot to us.
We love it. Too much Jackie talk. Okay, fine. You want to hear how Jackie wasn't invited to my wedding? You haven't heard that before.
Oh, come on.
All right, wait.
Let's hear
Whether
this.
they rag at me or whatever they do, there is something going on. If it's 10 years, it's not a month ago. It's not 3 years ago. It's 10 years ago. That's a long time. And like you say, from the feedback I get from people, it's as fresh as it happened yesterday.
He does. He still is like emotional, and it comes up again and again. And
but he can't be mad at me because I didn't do. And Dominic Barber called me up and said, I don't understand, Howard. You didn't do anything wrong.
Is it some sort of grudge? Like, what is he just trying to prove that he's right and you're wrong?
I don't know. People say, I don't care, but so many people say, how could you be friends with a guy for 18 years and work side by side with him for 15 years, being half of his brain and not be invited to his wedding?
He was half
you
of my
were
brain.
half of his?
Yeah.
Oh, you never told me he was half of your brain.
Well, that's the other Jackie thing. What really drove him, he didn't feel he got any credit. I don't know. And he was constantly announcing which jokes he wrote. And like, first of all, you watch the Academy Awards when Billy Crystal would come out or something. He doesn't stop after each joke and go, by the way, the writer of that joke was. That's what Jackie wanted. Like if Jackie thought up something, he wanted full credit on the air. That was what the laugh was. You know, it was crazy.
He was half your brain.
Half my brain. So that means I only own half of my mind when Jackie's in the room.
How did you do this all without him for some reason?
I don't know. Maybe he should realize he's a writer on a show. He's not half my brain.
The other thing about him, and that's why I made the Rolling Stone analogy, Jackie wasn't here at the beginning. He didn't meet you and create a show.
Well, in his mind, he rewrote history. He made me successful.
You were already doing this.
I know.
And I said, listen, I got no problem with that, but I don't know if that was just, like, of course you wouldn't be invited, but at some point, all bets should be off when it comes to a funeral or,
Jackie's nuts.
So he expected to be invited to the wedding?
I hadn't socialized with Jackie in 15 years. He doesn't know Beth at all. I hadn't seen him, I don't know. I mean, I'm not friendly with Jackie. I like Jackie a lot. We were good friends when he worked here, and I would hang out with him. But after he left, we didn't party.
I'm trying to think of anybody who would be equivalent to Jackie who was there.
No. I mean, I don't hang out with Jackie. I don't socialize with Jackie. Quite frankly, I don't socialize with a lot of people, but I'd see him at work.
No, I'm just someone you just never talk to again for a certain amount of time, and then you said, oh, come to my wedding.
Why would I do that?
That sounds reasonable to me.
Well, I guess if he's half my brain, he's half married to Beth.
What, did you turn the lights out on that half? It doesn't even speak to you anymore?
Unbelievable. Anyway, so he was on the...
half your brain. I mean, the things that... See, those are the things that upset me.
Then he had this other whole rap about...
Whenever he tries to take undue credit...
Oh, he never got enough.
This...
Never got enough.
It upset me.
Yeah.
Because to say he's half your brain...
And I guess you, Fred, and Gary are on the other half.
But you have a whole brain.
Right.
You never needed another part.
No, he felt he was half of my brain.
Well, how the hell are we limping along on half a brain?
If we had him back, I'd have my whole brain back.
Thank God.
He's half my brain tumor.
That's right. He's cancer.
Yeah. He's a character. Oh, I mean, it's so great. Then he goes into a rant about Benji being brought in and he wasn't told. And
I've heard him talk about this before, like how, he hated Benji being like over his shoulder.
Yeah.
During one of the best of things, you were interviewed, and you talked about how Benji came in, and I don't know if "threaten's" the right word, but you were hurt or something that they had somebody doing your same
what
job
happened?
right next to you.
And nothing to do with Benji, because the way that I got to do anything is, this is show business or whatever business. You do what you want to do, and the kid wanted to write, but they just told me one day, hey, Benji's going to sit in with you, and. It's like, imagine if Robin's sitting there and there was somebody sitting next to Robin and say, no, do this.
Bad analogy, dude. On shows, there's many writers, but there's not multiple news people coming in. And I mean, what did he think he was? He's a writer on the show. Fred's a writer on the show. And now Benji's a writer on the show.
Yeah, Fred had to accept that Jackie was there.
Jackie decided that I had enough writing. I didn't need any more.
Once you got him, you didn't need any more.
No.
Well, he was the traffic cop.
News story instead. No, do this. And of course, every news story they're going to give her is going to be great. But she already had it covered. Like, I already had the writing covered, and between me and Fred, we had it covered.
He had the writing covered.
Oh, my God.
Maybe I didn't think you had the writing covered, my half a brain.
No, see, half your brain knew.
Yeah. Maybe I didn't think it was enough. What do you care?
Your two sides of your brain are fighting with each other.
It was just weird that I'm sitting there. It's like, it's none of my business, not my show. Of course, if Howard wants another writer...
But you're half my brain. It sounds like you are. It is your show.
He had it covered.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not my say, but it was a little odd.
But wasn't Fred already doing that as well?
Yeah. So picture this. I'm sitting there, and Howard's talking, and he says something. I think it's something funny for him to say. And as I'm writing it down, now I got to read. I write it, but I got to read what
Wah. Wow, sorry, your job's so
So you
hard.
have to work. It's
Yeah.
a job,
It's too
and
much.
you have to work.
It's too much.
Wrote, then I'm reading what Benji wrote and decide which, so sometimes I just write something and put it up, and I wouldn't. It was too much. It was, if somebody hands you 3 cupcakes, you can only eat 1. You know what I mean? It's like it was too much. Very often, what Benji wrote was so funny and it was great, but it was overkill. I thought it was overkill.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
It was overkill for him.
It was too funny.
Too funny. Too much fun. Anyway, the Jackie saga on Mutt Superfan Roundtable.
Wow.
And I don't know. Then there was a whole thing about Jackie, Nancy, the apology to Nancy. It was very entertaining, quite frankly, but it got me really worked up because it's upsetting
I'm
me.
fascinated
Yeah.
by the workings of his mind.
It upsets me that he just is his own worst enemy. He'd still be sitting here if he just kind of mellowed out, figured out what was going on, and kind of saw his position in the right way. I said to him, listen, you're not the show, but you're an important part of the show, and you're being compensated. You got a great life. You're going to make a ton of dough for the next 5 years. Just sign up.
He never enjoyed this for a moment.
Never.
It was a burden. It wasn't enough. He didn't get the acknowledgement he needed. So it's better that he's away.
Right. Oh, it's so silly. Mutt got everyone going, though. He's good, Mutt. I like that show. Superfan Roundtable. Still think it's one of the best shows on the channel.
Well, they should have Jackie every week.
Yeah, it's great. Always great. And then his marriage to Nancy because the bathtub incident with Jessica Hahn.
Oh, that ruined the marriage?
Well, no, they were supposed to go on vacation. Nancy said no because of what happened with Jessica Hahn.
Oh, they didn't make a vacation because of that?
Yeah.
My wife had absolutely nothing to do with what I said that day. We went to I called up our marriage therapist who was trying to save our marriage 10 minutes after we got married. And she said, if you want to save your marriage, we were supposed to leave the next day to go to Europe. Her sister was getting married in France, and we're going to Venice. We're going to have the greatest vacation in the world. And she said, I ain't going no fucking Europe. I ain't going to. And Emily was our marriage counselor, and she said, Jackie, do whatever you can do to get her on that plane, and 100 miles into the trip, this will all melt away. So what can I do? And she was so pissed. I said, you know what? I'm just going to. I figured what we did was nothing. But Howard made it sound like there was a full-scale orgy went on in that bit. We were in the bathtub 10 seconds, right? But, his genius is to take something and make them, So she didn't hear it. So she heard the version of 20 of her friends
relaying the message.
So not only did Howard pile it on, then they piled. So, I had both thumbs up, Jessica Hahn's asshole, So she was so mad. So I figured the right thing to do is if the word got around to her about that, if I go in and apologize, maybe there's cocksucking friend.
I like that he had to apologize on the air. Yeah, So, quite frankly, just to make it clear, Nancy was not the problem negotiating with Mel and Tom.
I don't know anything.
That was, it was. Now that I think about it, it was Jackie going in himself.
I just remember that he was not liked after the very first negotiation he ever had.
That I remember. It went really, and I just said to him, it might be a good idea if you didn't do this yourself because they're getting the wrong impression of you. They don't like you. He's like, fuck everyone, I don't care. And I was like, it's not good to have management feel that way. You might need professional representation. Would you like me to call my agent? That was all. I didn't even know if my agent would represent him, quite frankly. Because one thing I know about Don, if he doesn't like someone, he won't represent him. Because he doesn't want to...
And if he can't talk to a person,
right,
he's not going to represent them.
Yeah, you don't want the aggravation. All right, Bobo, you're up. You're
Hey, how you doing,
control.
Howard?
Yes.
Let me weigh in on this. First of all, wouldn't you want to do what it takes to negotiate within the means of the show to keep everybody working together?
Well,
I
I
mean,
did
the
say
kind
to
of
I
money
did
that
say
you
to him, you ought to check around in the industry and see what people are making. And
yeah, I mean, like you said, flying on a private jet, that just doesn't happen in the radio world.
it doesn't.
Okay,
Right.
And let me ask you something else, too. You think because he branded himself, that's the key word, as head writer, you think it went to his head?
Well, that was the other thing, too. He insisted on a title, head writer. And like, the only other writer was Fred.
And then when Benji came along, he complained that there was too much to do being the head writer.
He didn't want to be, so I said, let Fred be the head writer. And even I said to Fred, I go, do you mind if Jackie calls himself head writer? Fred was like, no, if it keeps the show together, why not? But I mean, quite frankly, Fred is if not as much responsible for the success of the show as any one of us. I mean, Fred was gracious about it. He goes, listen, I don't care about a title. Well, he said, I don't care about a title. I don't even know what he's carrying on. But if he wants to be a head writer, fine.
That's great.
I think that Fred's a quiet guy.
Right.
And he's not much for rocking the boat. But I think that he was probably a little hurt by it, and he just didn't want to make waves.
Not hurt, annoyed.
Right.
Yeah. But Fred's like, hey, I'm a fucking writer.
Well, it was just so silly. I mean, how do you have a head writer?
It's two people.
If anything, I'm the head writer.
That's what I would
exactly
always
the
say.
point.
You are the head writer, and Jackie hands you what everybody else writes.
All right.
That's really a bold move to be working with one other person.
But that's Jackie.
And saying, I want to be the head writer.
And think nothing of it.
that's why-
and he just arrived.
The title head writer.
And then when Benji
was
wanted to
irrelevant.
come in, which would make it a bigger position, he rejected it.
Yeah.
Right, I was gonna say,
But being head writer is irrelevant on a show like this because it's only two guys sitting here, basically. And but it was really important to him. He just had a chip on his shoulder that he felt absolutely
it was
negated as a human being if he didn't have
a
this title.
And
he wanted everyone to know that he was better than, I guess, Fred. I don't know.
I think that, in his mind, he was Larry David,
Right.
your Jerry
No,
Seinfeld.
he wanted to be like Dick Van Dyke, and Fred was like Maury Amsterdam.
Right.
That's how
But
he
I'm
was.
just saying, in terms of what Jackie actually thought he was Larry David.
But here's the weird move about the head writer thing, too, Howard. That was a negotiation with the Channel 9 show for Jackie to get the physical credit when the credits rolled.
Yeah, because
and then he just moved it over here, but
Yeah.
we never said he was a head writer here.
He wanted Hollywood to recognize that he was head writer because he was going to be punching up scripts.
But there was no credit on the radio show that said you were head writer. He just took it from the TV show and moved it over.
It was
But did
fine.
he ever sit down with Fred and ask him about that?
No, listen, we didn't care because it was funny to us. I mean, the guy wanted to be head writer on our show. We were like, well, who else is here writing?
Yeah, I mean, since it really doesn't mean anything, go ahead and call him that.
I was like confused too because when we'd been back in my office writing stuff, I'd go, gee, am I supposed to check in with Jackie to make sure that to the head writer? I don't know. What do I do? All right, Bobo, thank you. There it is. Bobo needs to get on the air every day. Now he feels good.
He can have a good day. He can sit and watch the water and be happy.
Yes. Here's Jimmy who says we talk enough about Jackie. I'm sorry, we got sucked in, Jimmy. It's
Howard,
Jimmy, it's Mutt's fault. He had him on Superfan Roundtable. It's not our
We
fault.
had tape.
Howard, you're not going to find a bigger super fan than me. I've been following you for 20-plus years. I tape the show every day, blah,
Thank you.
blah, blah. Now, but I want to tell you something about Jackie. 2 weeks after that whole debacle when he left, right before he was going to leave the final time, I emailed him. And what wound up happening was I said to him, Jackie, what the fuck are you thinking? I said something to that effect. And I said, you're on the best radio show, the most greatest marketing tool for your career. What are you thinking walking away from that show? And I couldn't believe it. His response simply was, great email. And he never said anything after that, which was, you don't know what the hell's going on in this guy's mind.
I thought you didn't want to talk about Jackie. You're talking about him more than I am.
No. Here's the thing. My wife we're spending all this money on how. That's my
Thank you.
wife. All right. My wife she said, why is he talking about this again? Frankly, I think it's awesome.
Oh, you see, because of you, I rushed through it.
No. I don't want you to rush it. I think it's awesome, and it's an honor to talk to you. We never call in, and I just didn't. All right.
For all the years. Thank you, Howard. We love you.
That's my wife. I'm sorry.
Is she hot?
Yeah, she is. She's very good looking.
Very nice.
We're married 12 years. But we've been listening to you. I grew up.
Thank you. All right, let's start up the Jackie conversation again. I thought Jimmy. I saw Jimmy's call said stop talking about Jackie, and I was like,
My
oh
wife
fuck.
lit a fire under my ass. She said, why is he talking about that again?
Right.
Frankly, I think it's awesome whenever you talk about it. Can I ask you a question though?
Yes.
First of all, I'm a big Artie fan as well. Do you guys, since Jackie left, I mean, I thought the show really changed, and then when Artie came in, now, do you guys find that it's, with nobody sitting in that chair, that it's a little harder for you to do your thing?
No. I like it. I like just this group that we have now. It's very copacetic, so to speak, and I don't know. I just feel real good about being here, and I don't know. I guess I don't feel like we need anybody. But it could happen again that we get somebody else in
But it's
here.
not hard to do the job.
No, the job's fun. It's a nice groove. You get to sit here and talk and do some funny stuff.
I think the interplay between you and Robin is a lot more into it since Artie left, and we love
Absolutely. I love Artie too.
Well, yeah, we've seen Artie so many times, at his comedy shows up here in Boston, but it's just, it's a totally different vibe. And by the way, Robin, I saw you at Fenway Park when you were in that pedicab.
All right, Jimmy, I got to go. It's enough.
What?
You were in the pedicab. I remember that one. Jimmy, thank you, though, and thank your wife. Very nice words. Anyway, Jackie was on Mutt's show. And in it, I was trying to push Don Buchwald on him. Tom Chiasano, he's still waiting for Tom's call.
Nobody called.
Nobody called him. Well, just to get, let's set this straight once and for all. Here is my version. They called him and said it's a final offer. It had gone on and on and on. And then he thought it was still going on. Like, in other words,
he decided he was going to not come in.
Right.
And they said, well, that'll be it.
Yeah. 2 months later, Jackie woke up and realized he had no job and said, okay, I'll take my job back. And we said, there's no job. I think he was waiting for a final offer. He decided not to sign with Don Buchwald because in baseball, his cousin almost got into baseball and heard that agents can't represent more than one player on a team. That was the advice he got from his cousin, who's almost a baseball player. He was almost a baseball
And just, I love how with authority he says he took the advice of a cousin who was almost in baseball.
He sounds
like,
almost
that's reasonable.
He sounds proud of that. Like, maybe check that out.
Why are you talking to that cousin?
And on top of everything we learned from Mutt's show, he was upset that he wasn't invited to my wedding, which is even more delusional.
That's a surprise, because I don't think that had ever been brought up before.
I make a Christmas party every year. I've invited Jackie because he works on the channel. So
and
Jackie,
then he's incredibly uncomfortable
I know,
to be around the whole time he's there.
And then I see him at the Christmas party. He goes, thank you for inviting me. I thought you didn't even want me. I can't even believe I'm invited. I go, you work on the channels. Of course you're invited. I didn't think you wanted me. The whole time. I go, well, obviously I want you. You're here. Like it was a mistake that I invited him.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you invited me. I didn't think you were going to invite me.
Robin, I ever tell you about the time I got a stock tip from my cousin who works at an auto body shop, but he was almost a stockbroker? I mean, it's crazy. He was almost a stockbroker. I'm not kidding. He almost took the test. There was a lot of people giving Jackie advice who shouldn't have been.
Right.
The only person he should have listened to was me. He would have done very well in life. He would have done exceptionally well if he took my advice. I wasn't looking to screw him, and I think he always had this attitude that I was looking to screw him. Somehow I was behind the machinations of screwing Jackie.
Well, why would you do that?
I was only trying to make his life better. I said, I begged him. I said, Jackie, you've got a great life. Why would you let this explode? Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. You'll pay. I'll leave the show. Your whole career will go away.
But, Howard,
right.
The other thing
if
that's
he was real honest, he'd admit.
crazy about this is that he had left many times before.
Yep.
And nothing happened.
Right.
So why did he think that he was going to go on to some career?
I don't know. He always did. He even once said to me, I believe, and I don't know if I have it exactly right, but it was that, if I wasn't here, my career would have been huge.
Right.
like he sacrificed a lot. Like he could have been his own Jackie the Joke Man Martling without me, and he basically was living under my shadow. And if he had just gone off on his own, who knows what would happen.
Somehow or other, people weren't hiring him because he was on this show.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing. They won't let me on the roast. I go, why is that? Well, honestly, I think it's because I work here.
Yeah.
You mean you're so funny, but they're keeping you off the roast because you work? I would think putting you on the roast would be advantageous if you're so funny. And working here, why would comedians be against you if you work here? Well, I think some people at the Friars Club, you made fun of them. And they're going to keep me off the dais. Because... and I'd sit there and I'd roll my eyes because I go, you know what? he's not that funny on the fucking roast. That's why they're not having him on. We did a roast on Channel 9. He accused me of fixing the audience not to laugh at him.
For years. I don't think he ever believed that we didn't.
Yeah. I didn't get one laugh. I know what you did. Why don't you admit it?
You all got together and you told everybody not to laugh.
I thought I was losing my mind with this guy. This is what I had to deal with. Came back and was like all upset. I know what you did. What Gary got laughs. Everyone there got laughs. Richard Simmons got laughs. I mean, everyone. He got up. It was crickets. And he's the professional comedian.
Oh, my
goodness.
So that was one of the greatest episodes of a comedian dying on stage ever.
And he goes, I know what you did. You sabotaged my performance. You made it so the audience wouldn't laugh.
Well, he was devastated that day, but then he came back in on Monday and he said, all right, you can admit it. We were like, admit what?
Yeah, I mean, that's how he got through it. I was Satan. I was always plotting against him. I go, what are you saying, Jackie? I mean, I didn't get one laugh. I know you rigged the audience. I said, I don't know how to tell you I didn't do anything. No, I know what you did.
You can go ahead and tell me.
And the funny part would be letting me in on the joke.
Wow.
Oh, my God. I had it. I had it.
But there were other times that he had decided to leave, and he would send out whatever that packet was.
Yeah.
He would send to
get other jobs.
People he had met on the show.
Right. He would send to Andrew Dice Clay or Sam Kinison a package saying he's now ready to write for them.
Right.
And then
he's going to be available.
And then, I don't know, one of them called me Sam or Dice and go, hey, well, what is this? We got this package from Jackie. I go, what package? They go, well, he says he's ready to write for us. I go, it's fine with me. I don't care who he writes for.
Go nuts.
Go write. I think I just wanted you to know.
And then he had the great line that, well, Jackie, what are you going to do? When we would talk to him about this on the, I could go punch up scripts.
Where? Who's looking for him to punch up a script? I'll be like Babaloo Mandel. He locked into that name. Yeah. I go, Babaloo Mandel writes his own movie scripts, and sometimes they call him in to write. You don't write movie scripts. Yeah, I could do it. But you've never written one. I know I could do it. Hey, Andrew.
Hello, Howard.
Hey, now.
Hey, now. I was just wondering, why did you keep giving Jackie so many chances? I mean, it looks like he drove you nuts.
You know what? I gave him a lot of chances because I'll tell you this. I genuinely thought he was super talented, and also, I really liked the guy. I mean, there was something very simpatico between us. And I liked him. And I really listen, I've improved a lot in my mental health. Back then I kind of thought, oh my God, he's his own self, he's his own worst enemy. I'm going to save him. I'm going to get through to him because I know what he's walking away from. It was almost like watching a guy commit suicide. And I'd say to myself, if you saw a guy committing suicide, would you jump in and try and help? Or would you let him kill himself? And ultimately, I'd always jump in and try and say, life's worth living.
Yeah, but Jackie was the kind of guy who would take you down with him.
Yeah, that's true. If he was drowning, he'd pull you down. And you go, you're going to. But I didn't see it at the time. I just saw it as like, you know what? He's a talented guy. He's a nice guy. I enjoy his vibe. We had many good times together. And I said, this guy, I really thought of him as a friend. And I said, I have a friend who's a little bit out of it. He doesn't understand that he's got something good going.